All right, so we're gonna hit record in three, two,
Yeah.
one, record.
All right.
All right. I hit record when I said three, to be honest.
Yeah. I
Yeah, so
figured
so
there's
they
some shenanigans in there.
they could hear the countdown.
Yeah. Oh wait.
They should have seen
Oh.
the look on your face when you were waiting for 3 seconds.
Oh no, not the look on my face. Honestly, I'm in a whole different mood after that exclusive 10-minute Patreon only video that we just recorded.
Oh my god,
I
don't say it like that. It was behind the scenes where we just flubbed up an entire section because we got off tangent. And also, I was
Yeah.
recording our entire Avatar section too.
So just put it as a 50-50 then. How long was it?
It was 20 minutes. Altogether, 20 minutes. So
They're
it's
not
not
gonna
enough.
be mad. They're not gonna be mad for like midweek.
Well, to be
20
fair,
minute.
it started mid-conversation. I think it was like during one of your sentences, and I was like, dang, I should have been recording.
Oh.
So I don't know how
I mean, that's-
cohesive that entire conversation is gonna be, but
it'll probably be fine. They'll probably be like, you know what? I want to hear out. Yeah, let's just post that. What the
if you
heck?
guys
And
want to
we'll-
hear, you know what? If you guys want the POV of somebody who just walked in a room they don't belong in and then just walked out, then yeah, check it out. Check out the video, guys. You know, it is what it is.
Yeah, wait, we should
Mid conversation, you leave.
Yeah, we should call it that. Like 50-50 mid convo.
No. Just call it eavesdroppers.
Eves. Oh,
That's a good one, right?
Sai is cooking right now. Like
with the name, just eavesdroppers. It's a good podcast name.
That's a solid. Yeah, eavesdropper's a solid name. I mean, we have the 50-50, but like we could take all the names, you know what I mean? Just post, like, we'll have the 50-50, but we'll also post the same podcast, same episodes under eavesdropper. We had gas station.
We should have it go more and more degenerate. Like maybe the next one is window peeping.
Wait, what?
I don't know. I mean, when I think of an eavesdropper, I just think of like a Peter Pan outside of somebody's window.
Yeah, no, but I thought you meant like the conversation gets more degenerate, not the title.
Window peepers, sure, alleyway assault. I don't know. It gets worse and worse.
Great.
The 100-year genocide in Avatar.
Oh my god.
It just goes down and down.
Could be like that. There's a level to the degeneracy, but that trailer is for.
Oh yeah. Oh, by the way, guys, the reason why this is our second or third take of this video is because we got so sidetracked that we actually watched the One Piece Volume 108 trailer. It should be up on YouTube if you just look it up, and it's like on the One Piece official channel. It's also on the One Piece Ichiro staff Twitter. It was posted March 3rd at 9 a.m., depending on your time zone. Check it out. It's really goofy, really memey, and yeah. Thank you for listening to me.
It's legendary. It might be the best single piece of fiction animated for One Piece, at least. You know,
it's a great joke. I think that's the funniest One Piece has been since like 2003.
Yeah. We just need to translate it. I hope we eventually get like the lines translated, because you're right. There's some scenes I'm like, whoa, what did he say here? Why did they react like that?
It's a 1-minute gag piece with One Piece characters where Zoro loses his hand. I think like Usopp can't put on a shirt because his nose is too long. It's so silly. But Usopp, hey, it's approved by Oda. Approved by Oda, man. It's a good one.
Yeah. The art is phenomenal too. It fits everything. It like I said, this shit earns an Emmy, Grammy, something like that.
Which this brings us to one more thing we're gonna bring up before we hop into the chapter. But Par, if you could have a nose like your hero Vasco shot, would you have one?
No.
Oh, well, I gave you a nose that's pretty long in the Parcast podcast cover art.
Yeah, my nose is famously actually this is a true thing. Like all my friends know this. My nose is like super squishy. It's like really good for fighting.
How many people touch your nose to like find that out?
No, it's from fighting. So like I've been punched in whatever, and then it's like it doesn't hurt my nose. Where it's like other people, it's like it bothers them. But I have a really squishy nose, and it's like I forgot when I was a kid I found it out. It's like from soccer. I accidentally broke someone's nose with a soccer ball, and then like it was like karma. I got hit in the face later, but it didn't hurt me at all. And they're like, "What the hell?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's
Wait, so
You
they
know?
tried to get revenge on you by breaking your
No,
nose?
not them. That person, it was just like we took him to the nurses or whatever. We were kids, but like his nose was
Yeah.
all messed up. Fun fact, he ended up becoming a really successful boxer. So like,
I was
hey,
about to say,
great.
I thought you were gonna say he ended up becoming Voldemort because his nose just fell
No,
off afterwards.
no, yeah. I think
Damn.
he retired for a little bit, but he was undefeated in the Northeast or something like that. He's like 6-0, something like that. And I always have the story of like, yo, shit, I'm so sorry about what happened. Don't hurt me, you know?
No, no,
Like,
you made him stronger. I believe in that.
yeah. And then I trained at his boxing, where he trains and stuff like that for a little bit. And yeah, good times, good times. But
Hey, good
even my
times.
boxing coach is like, yeah, your nose is really great for fighting. I'm like, yeah, back in the day, it's been through a few punches or
Your
two.
nose has like a win-loss history.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
good.
No,
It's
only
good.
wins. Nose only has wins. I've never even had a nosebleed. Like that's the crazy. My best friend
Really?
always gets nosebleeds, and I've never gotten. Yeah, it's kind of
You're
crazy.
missing out, dude. Nosebleeds are kind of cool. Like,
Yeah,
whenever you get a nosebleed, like once in a blue moon, it's actually kind of nice because it's like very nostalgic.
I think
It's
I've
like,
gone
damn, dude,
like
haven't had
a
this since like middle school.
nosebleed, but it wasn't from like a nose bleeding thing. It's like I had a scratch like right on the inside of my nose or something like that, and
Yeah.
I don't remember from what. And it was bleeding a lot because it's like there's a lot of capillaries in your face and nose, so it was bleeding a lot. I was like, oh my god, I have a nose, crazy. And my wife was like, why are you like saying? I was like, you don't understand, babe. I've never had a nosebleed before. And then we ended up cleaning it up, and I was like, ah, it wasn't a nosebleed.
It's like a
Damn.
period for your nose.
Yeah, my wife used to get nosebleed, or not that she used to get nose, yeah, a little bit. And so it's like everybody in my life, they've experienced the wonders of nosebleeds, just not me. I'm like, don't know
You're
what's
finally
happening.
joining it in.
Yeah, yeah. With that, yeah, with your art for my face, I can maybe have a future.
Yeah, you know what it's like to be human again.
Yeah, yeah.
Mortal.
Caribou Vasco fusion, famously the most easily human depiction. Like,
Yeah, you know it. Oh, speaking of human depictions, though.
oh, you should have said you knows it.
Oh no,
No,
sorry.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's fine. It's okay.
Speaking of the 100-Year
Noses.
War of Ba Sing Se, we have Onigashima in the cover
Speaking of that,
page, and we see that it is sinking down to ancient Wano and Par. I absolutely love the fact that we have a canon cover page story. This is so great. Like, this actually made my day. When I read this, the chapter was already like a 10 out of 10 for me.
yeah. So, like when we got on like the TCB stuff, it just said cover like number 26 or something like that. So I didn't
Yeah.
like if it was a series or whatever. But now I see it says limited cover series. And we have the official translations now because we're
Oh,
recording
we
at a
do. Yeah,
different
let me
time.
see
Yeah.
that.
So
I
yeah,
never
I
read
want
the viz.
to.
I
I
never
only
read the
check for
viz. So when you
some
said that, I was like,
things.
what? Like, what do you mean
Yes.
it says limited cover series?
Yeah, limited
Yeah,
cover series right
Viz.
now, number
Ooh,
26.
we're here. Shout outs to the
Um,
Viz, man. You guys put out some work, dude.
I was
What?
waiting for what you were gonna say, and then you just said like you just like did the equivalent of a participation trophy type thing. Like, yeah, you were there. Like,
I mean, they are. I mean, yeah, they did the thing, you know. That's big.
yeah, you're scorned from the JJK series translations, swapping into the One Piece
There's
thing,
just
which
I don't have a lot of fond memories of Viz translations throughout the years. They haven't exactly been that great.
or to put it we always appreciate in any walk of life when things get better, when things improve, and you love when that happens. It doesn't matter where you start, it matters what happens tomorrow, what happens the next day. And my god, it's like every week I hear worse and worse stuff. And it's like I get like Viz, officials is like on average you get, but then when they like I've seen the JJK stuff and I'm like, wait, what? This is awful. It's so much worse than the One
It's
Piece
not
stuff,
just
and it's not even
JJK. It's like
hard.
the other series too. Like they have some scuff translations. I think One Piece has the best ones in
Yeah,
comparison, but
yeah,
still, that's not saying much sometimes.
yeah. and
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 it's
but
always rough when people look at the Viz and they're like, "Oh, this is official. Like
this
this
is
is
the
confirmed
real.
by Oda." It's like,
Yeah,
no,
it's
no.
fine.
Japanese is it can be inferred in so many different ways. Do not take the Viz as like the Bible. Like this
Yeah.
isn't written by Jesus Christ himself. I promise. I promise.
Yeah, and that's my stance too. I will read the Viz. I will use official translations. I will also look at the other translations. But I don't look at it as one is better than the other. All of them are trying to achieve the same thing, and maybe one of them got it right and one didn't. And it's more often than not when you fact check it and you go in depth, it's like not a single one of them ever gets it like what people think is correct. And we've seen that many times where it's like Viz has had to correct their translations, so has all the other translations teams. But like for the official to have to like correct as often as we see it, like almost as often as the other teams, like the non-official teams, that's kind of weird, you know. And the one
Yeah.
caveat I'll give him is that One Piece is probably one of the hardest translated series period, because Oda is like, there's a dude who's in the series called Saint Shepherd Jew Peter. Like, and the pun is they're supposed to be Jupiter, and that's a pun from katakana in Japanese. It's supposed to relate to English, and it's like that's not normal speech in any language to do. And like obviously a name's easier to translate than actual words, but Oda literally will have words like the Void Century. He'll have it written in kanji, but also have the katakana up top, and it's like that's not normal either, and none of it really that simple. But you know, you wish that like sometimes you wish that there was some kind of arbiter of truth, but there
Yeah.
isn't.
Yes. Yes.
There's
Stephen
not.
Paul, he had his work cut out for him. It's not his
Yeah.
fault. It's not his fault.
But back on the cover story, I agree with you. Seeing this was a like not a breath of fresh air, but it's a breath of air that I wanted to breathe.
It's
Like,
how about this? It's you wouldn't be able to breathe if you were where Onigashima is right now.
but why would I want that?
Oh, I don't know. Swimming with the
Yeah, I
fishes,
was
man.
saying this
It's
is
cool, dude.
something that I want. I don't want to drown.
Oh, shoot. Never mind, dude. Hey, I just woke up, man. I'm so tired. I stayed up so late playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I started watching Monsters. Have you watched that?
Monsters like One
Like
Piece.
1995, like anime. It's so good.
Oh yeah, that's one of the that's
Wait,
a
you watched
classic.
it?
I watched it a long time. I watched it in
Oh man, I'm on like
2006.
episode 9. I'm binging that, dude.
Bro,
Oh, it's so good.
For people who don't know, that anime is very old school, but it won anime of the decade in the 2000s. And so like, and this is like I don't even know if it came out. It came out like 1990 something, I feel like. I don't remember, but it won anime of the decade, and I was blown away because that's the era of like Death Note and all these things. And it won. I was like, huh? Monster? What is this? I've never heard anyone talk about it. Not a single person I knew at the time watched it. So I gave it a go. And what Sai is describing is it's great. The pace is amazing. The plot is insane. It's honestly one of the most unique stories I've ever seen to this day. Not there's not many things that can even level up to what they accomplish in that story. But I will say there is a section of the series. I think it's like 76 episodes or something like that, something random number. And there's like pockets of time where it slows down. But what I say about that, it's similar, and people will still not like it. It's similar to how Vinland Saga had the farming arc, where it's like it slowed down, but it didn't slow down in developing. Like, to me, that was insane for Thorfinn. That was insane for the story. That farming simulator part that people didn't like, that was probably
It's
one of my
good.
favorite parts.
It's good.
And they do something very similar a few different times in Monsters where it slows down. I would say almost to a part where it becomes not likable, but when you go past it, the way they use that is like, oh my god, this
Monsters
guy
is
is
so
on
good,
crack.
man.
Yeah.
So
It's
to give
insane.
anybody like the brief summary of like the first couple of episodes, don't want to spoil something from 1994, but it's about
1994,
this.
yep, okay.
Yeah, it's about this doctor who essentially he's like one of the best neurosurgeons out there, and he kind of starts not weighing life, but he tries to operate on people who arrive at the hospital first, because he's like, hey, like, you showed up first, I'm gonna help you first, I want to save as many lives as possible. But there's like the whole like political side of the hospital where they're like, hey,
he's Japanese in a German hospital.
yes. Yeah, and
So
there's like a scenario where like the mayor comes in and he's like, the director's like, hey, you have to work on the mayor, but the guy's like, wait, but what about all these other people? And then, you know, he starts having to wait like lives, and then it turns out that one of the people he saves is like a maniac, and they're like, was it really worth it though? And then he starts going through this whole conundrum, and then we go into like these side plots where like other killers are popping up, and then he has to like start understanding them, seeing where they come from, and it's a really beautiful show. And it's nostalgic. I just love serial killer shows.
If
A1.
I were to give, I like the way you described it, because you spoiled without spoiling, which is like really hard to do. And like honestly, if you did spoil it, it wouldn't be that crazy, because like I think in the first 3 episodes, you essentially get like
the gist of it. And plus, I'm sure people have seen like the image of the serial killer, so it's not super crazy. It's an iconic image that people have shown like around social media before, but not a lot of people actually know where it's from. So I don't feel too bad spoiling it. It's like Eisen.
You know, give thematics around the story and the point that you get across like throughout the story, but ultimately by the end of it is like you know, how like the value of life and how you decide like what like how your decisions change as you get power in regards to life, and that like you get so many different levels of that, careers and everything. But obviously you can understand if this guy's a surgeon, a doctor like that, and he's saving lives, it gives you such a crazy perspective, because like he's better than everybody there, and everybody like this, you know, they're like political or whatever, and he's just like, I just want to be good at what I do. And then he is good at what he does, and he has to eat with what he did. And it's
can't save everybody
to swallow. Yeah, it's crazy.
Speaking of which, the author also has an anime that's airing right now, I believe.
Ooh.
Called Pluto. I'm sure you've heard of it. It's on Netflix. It's getting really good reviews. So if you like Pluto, he made Monsters.
I actually have heard of that. Wow. Okay, because that actually that crossed. I remember. Oh my God! Wait, we were just scrolling through Netflix. And I was like, oh, how about this? And then
how about Pluto? Nah. Yeah. It's gonna get you. That's how they do it, man. Last thing before we hop back onto the cover story. Have you seen the Anime of the Year awards?
Oh.
Wait, what were you gonna go to?
Segue. Pluton is under Onigashima.
Oh damn! I'm sorry. JJK won like Anime of the Year. One Piece won like Best MC. A lot of good awards out there, but it's
the Best Continuing Series is such a meme category.
It's a meme. Like it's such a meme.
One Piece will always win, but also like Attack on Titan final season, final part, last thing, they ended the show, but it's under the continuing series thing. I'm like, how many times do they need to write final in the title for you to say that's not continuing anymore?
Yeah. Continuing series is such a joke in the anime awards, because it's like, okay, you have this show with 50 episodes, this show with 70 episodes, and then you have One Piece with 1,100 episodes. It's like, I wonder who's gonna win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's almost unfair.
I feel like they had to make a separate category so that the One Piece vote wouldn't flood the other category votes, because at the end of the day, awards like this is like a popularity thing. It's like the streamer awards, like whoever has the biggest streaming platform, similar to anime, whichever has the biggest following. Hey, the one with 26 years of following probably is going to flood the vote on all of them, which surprisingly they didn't flood the vote for the voice actor one. I was surprised that Mayumi Tanaka, who deserve it, like Year 5 was an insane performance, but Gojo's voice actor, I believe, won it, which for what I have seen,
I'm surprised.
Yeah, I saw the thing and I'm like, yeah, there's a few scenes that are really great, but like, I didn't think it was that insane.
Gojo wasn't even in season 2 that much.
Yeah, and then like, you know, I'm not even trying to, like, Mayumi Tanaka's a legend, one, but also like this specific last year of Gear 5 and having to like flip the script and the voice acting was insane. Like, if anyone had even seen the behind the scenes of it, the director said Mayumi Tanaka did all of it in one go. one shot. That's
Dang.
it.
Well,
And
26 years
that's
of experience,
insane.
man.
No, but like year five is so different, right? Like the laughter, the new, like there's so much stuff that they did of like the goofy, loony, like we see it in paper on the manga thing. She brought it to life, and in one
Yeah, that's
shot,
fair.
like
That's fair.
the director thought it was gonna be like an insane, like tedious day, like the hardest episode of his life. She just walked in, cooked it, and then he was like, "Oh, god damn, what the hell happened?" She just owned it. And but I'm not saying that she, because there was other voice actors.
Yeah,
I
I
just
think I
don't know if
voted
the
for Aaron
nomination.
for that one because I remember
Yeah.
like Aaron in the finale was kind of crazy, so I
Hmm.
went with him.
Hmm.
But not in not in my wildest dreams that I think Gojo was gonna win. Which
Yeah, that's
JJK crazy. They won 9 out of 13 of their nominations.
yeah,
That's like
which is
that's
like
kind
a
of wild.
fandom popularity kind of.
Yeah,
I'm sure. Like, yeah, again, I watched half of it. I love JJK, but like at the end of the day, when you look at some of the things, it's like I feel like Vinland should have won a few of them. But
Vinland didn't get
it's.
nominated for a lot, which is where I think is the system failed it. Because like I
Mhm.
do think Vinland could have won some of these, but it's just not. It wasn't present in some of these categories. Same with Bleach. Nobody's really
Yeah,
up in arms about the Bleach one, but Bleach was just nowhere even in this 2024 category thing.
yeah, which is sad. Were they
It's
even
crazy.
nominated for? Were they in continuing series?
No.
Oh
Yeah, I
God.
forgot what Bleach was in. Was it art? I think it might have been art.
I think it was art. Yeah, I think it was art, and I think I voted for JJK,
Oh, best
and it was
action.
I voted for JJK for art over Demon Slayer. I was like, Demon Slayer was great the other season. I didn't watch the newest season, but no one had said anything about it. For JJK, the reason why I voted for it is because they 1-to-1 made Shibuya. And it was like to the point where people who have been there were felt like this anime captured the exact feeling of being like 6 foot tall in the train station, you know what I mean? And they're like, yo, this is my exact experience being in Japan. And I'm like, that's so crazy and so insane and so different. I feel like to get nail it down like that, and in a action shonen fighting type of way. So I thought that was really incredible.
I
But
think
yeah, I have to watch more of it. So
I think some of their categories need to be need to have like their own subcategories because I feel like One
hmm
Piece could have taken more. I feel like Vinland could have taken more. JJK could have even taken more too. Like I don't know. It's
yeah.
weird that they kind of boil it down to like, oh, best continuing, best original, best animation, best design, when every anime is like so vastly different.
Yeah,
That's like I
yeah.
don't
And
know.
also
It's a
I
hard
don't like
one.
it's weird because like these awards in reality, or not it's like not these awards, but award shows in general, like if someone is an Emmy winner, Grammy winner, whatever their awards, that does kind of reflect on what roles they get in the future, right? Like how much they're paid and how what
Yeah,
jobs they get. And I don't know if Crunchyroll has that kind of thing, but in general, like there's I don't know how many different awards there are that respect like the animators, right? Because I feel like there's so many animation or animators that kind of like if you went to buy the Crunchyroll awards, they're not don't reflect on like how amazing were and directors
yeah.
and stuff like that. But I think there is another award, like two other awards that probably have more notoriety for like especially for like hiring, right? Because that's the most important thing. It's like these animators need to be recognized for their hard work that they barely get paid for in the grander scheme, and then also like not recognized for each episode. That's like a newer thing. Like I learned about like not recently but later on, it's like, oh shit, like the directors for episodes for series change from episode to episode, especially for something like One Piece. And it's like that determines a lot about the episode. Like Megumi Ishitani did the gear second, right? I think in Eni's Lobby originally, and that's why it survives the test of time. You go back and watch Eni's Lobby Gear second, and you watch how they remade it later on. That original one still is better to a lot of people, and that's like I wish there was more awards to like recognize like that kind of detail of expertise and things like that. But I'm sure there is. I'm just like dumb and I don't know about those. So but
Jeez.
Crunchyroll isn't the place for that.
Yeah, Crunchyroll is cool though.
Which
Sort of.
I guess my point of it is like people put a lot of stock on the Crunchyroll awards. I literally am like these are just like it's just a show. It's
Hey,
just
hey,
like a Twitter
hey.
thing for a day.
Yeah, it's a Twitter thing, but also it takes place in Japan, and a lot of those companies actually do show up there to accept
That's what
the
I heard.
awards.
I did hear like Meg the Stallion was in something. Was
Yeah,
that
she was
different?
she was giving the trophies away or like reading the script.
That's kind of dope. I mean, I saw
It's
the
pretty
meme
dope.
tweets about it that were like, "This is the first woman they've seen in 6 months," and I'm like, "Oh no!"
Oh
Like that's
god.
so messed up. But like, I like that there's international like collaboration.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
that's always
yeah.
fun stuff. But yeah, at the end of the day, Crunchyroll Awards at the moment it's like
And we'll see if it holds any weight. But also, you know what holds
yeah,
weight though?
yeah.
Or
What?
wait, do you know what collaboration's amazing though? Not just the East and West.
Onigashima and Old Wano.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
wait,
yeah.
what were you?
Onigashima and Old Wano. So it's sinking, man. And how do you think they brought it down there? Do you think they just pushed it over? Do you think Momonosuke
That's
like dropped it in the water? And even then, do you think they thought about the repercussions of, hey, eventually when we break down the borders, we're gonna have to see it again? Like, how
yeah.
did this go down? Like, what was the conversation or the thought behind this?
I honestly don't know who did it, why they did it. Like, there's not really. It just seems like because for me also, like I brought it up in my live stream, and people are like, "But Wano's isolated." I'm like, the whole point of the story is we're gonna. It's not gonna be isolated. And I was like, "Yo, this could be a good tourist trap, right?" Like Kaido, a previous emperor, like yeah, he committed atrocities, but the reparations need to be paid somehow, and it's like the previous Yonkos thing, you'd get a lot of people coming to this, and it's an insane real estate too. This is a castle made with the labor of all of.
Yeah, and there's like weapons down there. Like, I don't know. I feel like I would have lived in there. I would be like, I'd be bunkered up. That could be like a station, even. Like, the housing, man. The housing potential of Onigashima is huge. And the fact that they
Yeah,
just kind of threw it over here, it's not like a bad decision, but it's strange because if they didn't want to look at it or if they didn't want to remember the war, why not just push it off of Wano entirely? Because it's not, I mean, it's far, right? But the thing is that they're going to have to see this again when they break down the borders. Because, like you said,
yeah,
the borders have to be broken eventually. And then now we just have Onigashima, what on top of what seems to be the capital of ancient Wano. Like, it's even stranger. Like, Kaido's plan worked, theoretically. I mean, Kaido wanted to drop it on the flower capital, and now it's on top of ancient Wano's capital. I don't know.
like
I don't know. It's
I
a little
wouldn't be
bit silly.
surprised if they just gave Kaido and Big Mom a home. Like they pulled themselves out of the ground and like, oh shit, our castle's back. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's
Like
down here with us.
yeah, and then like yeah, like obviously atrocities occurred here, but like why not use it as a prison? Why not that? Like this thing is
Yeah.
like fitted for that reason, and then there's like there's so many levels to it that like and Yamato knows it down pat. So it's like Yamato could become the warden of Onigashima's prison, and then well that would be awful for her story character or arc
Oh
because
my
she's
god,
like
yeah.
imprisoned here, and then it's like Momo's like you are now the warden of Onigashima, and she's like no. I Momo, you're just like my father, like some shit like that, So, but at the end of the day, I feel like there is something crazy about this. This is the first like canon thing that Oda chose to show us after the break, and we did expect like, hey, I would love it if we go back to Wano and we see some things via the cover stories. And this is not something I expected. This wouldn't be in my bingo card at all, but it almost makes you wonder if like because Onigashima had relevance before it became Onigashima. We still don't know its previous name,
Yeah.
which is another reason why Momo probably shouldn't have tossed it over, or at least like consulted Zunisha. Like, hey, Zunisha, what was this before? Hey, like, should I toss it? And Zunisha's like, no, that was the burial ground for Joy Boy, or some like crazy
Yeah,
thing
or
like
like
that.
ask Sukiyaki, right? I mean, maybe he did, but I don't know.
Yeah,
It doesn't make
Suki.
any sense.
Why did you bring
Sukiyaki
up
knows
Suki?
everything and nothing, dude.
Sukiyaki is probably the most offensive name in the series. Like Sukiyaki's annoying. Oh my god.
What about Tengu-sama then?
Tengu, yeah, let's go with that. Hitetsu is so much cooler than Sukiyaki. Um,
So wait,
um,
so with this cover story though, we can go to a lot of different places, right? We started kind of weird with Onigashima, but we could end up with Big Mom and Kaido. We could end up with
mhm.
Blackbeard coming to Wano, Yamato stuff.
Yeah.
I even brought up the theory that cross guild could even come to Wano and look for the poneglyph. Like, there's a lot we can get out of here. What are you like banking on? Where are you? Any of it? All of it? Some of it?
I'm liking the Blackbeard stuff, the Blackbeard and
Yeah.
Pluton stuff, because that Pluton should be down here. Onigashima, that's where like the Grim Reaper showed up, and like we still don't know what that was another one of those
Whoa,
like,
whoa, whoa,
is
whoa!
this still
Grim Reaper.
One
What are you
Piece?
talking about?
Yeah, exactly. Like it's a fever dream, but
That didn't
Zoro
happen.
saw a Grim Reaper, and we're just not talking about it. And then this thing's a giant skull. Onigashima or Pluton is supposed to be sleeping underneath it. Surely, a giant island falling onto the ground is like, hey, whoa, up there, up. And then or he or she, we're not choosing for Pluton, but like with Pluton, I feel like some people were saying like, oh, maybe Pluton grabs the sword. I'm like, what is Pluton? Like, is it a ship? Is
Pluton
it a mole?
grabs the sword. That would be hilarious.
Like at the end of the day, like even my Pluton theory that Pluton could be like a cloud ship, which if people hadn't seen that video, it's actually funny. Like I think it's chapter 31, the cover story. Luffy and Nami are piloting a cloud ship in the cover story, and I didn't even include that in the video, but I found that like the day of my post of me posting it. But the point would be that like if Pluton was like some kind of cloud entity type thing and it raises Onigashima would be in the sky again, and then boom, we have like Kaido was doing something right with Onigashima. Maybe Onigashima originally was supposed to be in the sky. It is a weird thing because like when you kind of think about it, like how did Kaido like lift off the island with just clouds? Like you know what I mean? If it's like on a piece of land and when he lifted it, that kind of means he already like tore it off, right? And like so nobody knew that he did that, or did he do that solo, or did the clouds have enough force to just rip it off the land? And I'm like,
That's what I'm
maybe
going
it
with.
was always meant to be like flying in the sky like this. Like I don't know, because we don't have any knowledge about Onigashima. But I think in the story Momotaro, it was supposed to be a flying thing, like permanently flying, not like Kaido lifting it up. I think in the story, the original story, it is just like an island that in the sky. I'm forgetting fully, but I think there's also, people have like Laugh Tale theories where like Laugh Tale's supposed to be floating too. But I am on the boat of like Blackbeard because we're getting that momentum with Van Augur,
Yeah.
Caribou's seen this.
I
Then
like how when people think of the Blackbeard Pirates, it's just Van Augur now.
Yeah, Van Augur.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
just Van
I
Augur.
was gonna go to the part that's relevant to this, where it's like, if they just send Pizarro here, which is also relevant to this chapter, Pizarro. If we send him here,
It's
the
over.
original Pizarro, not the new Pizarro, not Pizarro 2.0, the real Pizarro, please stand up. If we send him here and he turns into Wano, he could just drop the walls, no? Right? Like,
Yeah.
that's easy peasy,
He can drop the
easy.
walls. Blackbeard could Gura the wall. Like there's so many options for the Blackbeard Pirates. It's kind of silly.
Yeah,
It's kind of silly.
yeah, and so one way or the other, the Blackbeard Pirates showing up and then just completely hijacking Momo's entire what are they, what there's in my mind they can't stop the Blackbeard Pirates. Like there's no
Yeah. They
offensive
can put up a
force.
decent fight, but I mean, they're just gonna lose. Like
I
Blackbeard
don't
and his
even
crew are
think they
too
can put up a
strong.
decent.
Like,
I
well,
don't
I
think
mean, I
they
guess
can.
Yamato could try stuff, but I mean that Yami Yami dude, like it's over.
Yeah, like Yamato. The thing is, the main thing going against Yamato is that Yamato's like naive. Like yeah, she can probably run the gauntlet, cripple the entire force, sure. But like Blackbeard's that seasoned fighter, where it's like we kind of forget that like yeah, Yamato is an incredible fighter, but she was fighting Kaido, right? Kaido is her dad, and like yeah, she was fighting the admiral, but like the admiral brought in like flowers and trees, and it's like that. You don't need to be a rocket scientist to fight a tree, but like you do need to be a rocket scientist to fight a black hole and earthquakes a little bit, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
he shows up, and that's a problem. It's like Odin seeing Roger for the first time. It's like, yo, what just hit me, right? That's what's gonna happen when
And then you
Blackbeard
have
shows up.
10 Titanic commanders all with devil fruits too. So
And they don't fight
it's
fair.
over. It's over,
They
dude.
don't fight fair. Yamato is gonna be a gullible, like in terms of that. It's like Katarina Devon changes into Momo. What happens? What
Yeah.
happens?
It's
Not
done.
Katarina Devon changes into Luffy. Yamato folds a little bit. You know, it's like, blah blah blah, like Luffy, my friend, and then Shiryu just comes up in the back, and then
Yeah.
Blackbeard just grabs her by the throat, just like Boa, and then we get, you know, the Amazon Lily 2.0, but with Yamato. It'd be crazy.
Yeah, and then the scabbards, man. Like I know Oda power scaled them upwards during Onigashima, but even when they got power scaled up, they still lost. I mean, I guess Raizo beat Fukurokujo, which is pretty huge. Inarashi and Nekomamushi, like Perospero and Jack, but like I really do feel like they won't stand a chance against the Blackbeard Pirates. Like there's no way. And then
Shiryu
you know, like
goes
and
there versus the
up?
Scabbards. Shiryu versus the Scabbards. Does he beat all of them?
No. I don't think Oda would do the scabbards that dirty. Where
But
Shiryu just 1v9s, but
wait, hold on. Do you think Zoro
What's up?
1v9s?
No.
No.
No,
Zoro fans in the chat.
Like, feat-wise, Zoro should, in my opinion, but I feel like when you talk about gang ups like that with characters that aren't exactly fodder, I feel like Oda will always respect the gang ups. That's just kind of how it is. So, like, I don't think, like, Luffy... I feel like Luffy could 1v9. I think I'd give Zoro, like, a 1v6, 1v7. I don't know.
But, like,
It's not an easy one.
Green Bull can 1v9, right?
Green Bull, like, he 1v, like, 5, because Yamato didn't fight. Momonosuke didn't know his powers yet either.
Just Scabbards. Just the Scabbards, Green Bull. Green Bull can beat them, right? You're right. They didn't have Kinemon, but like if you threw in, because they also fought, wasn't Inurashi and Nekomamushi was there. Wasn't
Yeah, they were there. Damn, maybe I'm wrong then. I don't know. I just feel like gang ups are hard because like you got like multiple people attacking you.
Yeah, I mean, it's not an easy question.
Maybe
it's just funny because like the root of this is Shiryu, right? And like I don't disagree with people saying like Shiryu's gonna show up really strong. I'm not impressed by the whole Garp Shiryu stabbing thing. That's not like, oh my god, wow, he Invised was playing a little dirty and he got a stab on Garp. That's not like a crazy thing for me to say like, oh, now Shiryu's a competent fighter. But at the end of the day, I agree with people that if Shiryu's Zoro's next fight, then yeah, he's going to be strong. He was on the same rung as Magellan. Impel Down, they all get boosted up. And if we were to have, if Ryokugu is 1v9ing, like, and as far as swordsmen go, is Shiryu on that pedestal where he's destroying Odin's like personally trained scabbards? And like Kinemon is the weirdest one, obviously, because he's supposed to be the strongest, but like we don't even know what that really means. Like his strongest feat is getting clobbered over the head a few times, you know? Like other than that, what did we really see of Kinemon? Not much really. So it's like, but he's the strongest one, and then we saw the rest of them kind of get steamrolled by Green Bull to the point that Momo or Yamato would have had to step in, and Momo would have gotten steamrolled too if it kept going, if Shanks hadn't stopped it, which is something like even Yamato recognized, right? If Momo confidently took on them or the Scabbards did, Yamato would be gone. Yamato would be with the Straw Hats at this point, but that's not the case. Yamato is like the confident fighter, like, yeah, they would not last a day without
they need me here.
Yeah, and so like Yamato is competent, I guess, against enough Blackbeard pirates, but like the Scabbards are not. I don't know if they would be able to like, let's add Shiryu plus another person, right? And then what happens? You add Pizarro terraforming the entire island.
Yeah, Scabbards alone, not scary. Scabbards plus Momonosuke and Yamato, pretty scary.
Yeah, it is pretty scary. But then you add Blackbeard plus an Island Man. I think Blackbeard plus Island Man is kind of like, that's.
I mean, yeah,
terrifying.
like what? Blackbeard so far hasn't traveled with his full crew, and I feel like Wano's not going to be any different. If Blackbeard were to come here, I feel like he would just bring like 2 or 3 people, whether it be, you know, I think Island Man would be a great one, but I feel like Island Man is somebody you keep at Hachinosu in a weird way, because, you know, he's the perfect like home defense. So if he were to come here, who do you think he would bring? I think he would bring Shiryu.
Yeah.
For the sword, swordsman, right? Yeah. Maybe Shiryu proves me wrong. Maybe Shiryu like 1v9s all the Scabbards and Momo and Yamato, and that'd be nuts. I wouldn't believe it, but that'd be nuts.
Because like at the end of the day, like I'm not, guys, careful. Don't quote me like.
And also, whoa. Me as well. When I said that, you know, Zoro couldn't run the gauntlet. I meant like I included Yamato and Momonosuke. Like, 1v9, it's not easy. It's not easy.
Yeah,
And then Luffy,
Sai
I
was
feel like he
taking,
could do it because Saturn and Kizaru got slapped this chapter. So, I have a different opinion on Luffy now, but
yeah.
yeah.
And Sai was also taking into account that One Piece's weird narrative scaling that often occurs when we have group fights and stuff like that. But
Zoro fans, please don't attack me today. It's a Sunday.
Yeah, please. It's a holy day. Shiryu, though, like at the end of the day, Shiryu is low key supposed to be, at least on paper, he has like the invisibility of Sanji and the swordsmanship of Zoro. So it's kind of like this like chimera of a character that's bloodthirsty, right? The opposite of what Sanji essentially. And Zoro's not like bloodthirsty. He's like blood lusted, but not like he's not like out there like vampiric
killing people. That'd be so cool, though. Imagine every island, Zoro's like, I need a human sacrifice. It just goes to every island like, my blade needs to eat. Isn't that what Shiryu said? Like, my blade is thirsty? Yeah. That's so good.
Essentially, is something like that. His sword has some kind of interesting hold, I think. But, and we know he does have like I think Oda said in the Road to Laugh Tale what his sword's name is. That and he's
we get his sword name, but we don't get the grade, which I wouldn't be surprised if it's Supreme, to be honest. Just give it to him. We have like 9 Supreme grade blades we don't know of. Just give him one. Just fill out the world a little bit,
Yeah.
Make him a good opponent.
He got it from his master. Don't give him a painted black blade. Like, let's give him.
That'll be so good. Imagine we get to him and Zoro's like, "Oh my god, he has a black blade." He's like, "No, I just have black paint." It just goes hard. Be crazy, dude.
As far as the Blackbeard pirates that go there, I think it would be Blackbeard, Shiryu, and Devon. And Devon mainly, the Nine-Tailed Fox is also like a Japanese, like, it's like, in lore, it's the ally and antagonist of Japan in so many different ways throughout history. So the fox having, even in Wano, there was the fox, Ushimaru's fox was the keeper of the grave. So now you have the Nine-Tailed Fox, the mythical fox, coming in and doing. Imagine the Nine-Tailed Fox like carrying Devon and then going like Saint Saturn form and just like what would the obviously headcanon, right? Like that she can copy his power. Like if you just had Saint Saturn's regeneration, I don't think anybody on Wano could stop. He would just be. Carrying Devon just walk through, be hurt, but like then you add Carrying Devon probably is competent as a fighter and can like dodge things. Then it's like, oh man, we can't even hit this thing that.
What do we do now?
Yeah, and then the Ushi Oni also has like lore to it. So at the end, Shiryu swordsman, that motif. Then we have the Nine-Tailed Fox plus Blackbeard. I think those 3 would be good.
Dang, the more I think about it, the more I think that Kizaru would come too, like because Caribou would be like, hey, like it's underneath Wano, and like the borders are blocking it. So I think Blackbeard would be like, hey, Pizarro, you're up, dude, island guy.
Yeah. I wouldn't be mad at that. I think that would. Yeah. But I like your point about the Hachinosu defense. But maybe that's why he leaves is because once Hachinosu's defense goes down, something happens, like Garp escapes or Moria escapes because. When I think about like, hey, Moria's
an interesting one.
His biggest like reason for not being able to escape is that the island terraforms. So it's like if Pizarro is in control of the island and Moria's underground, anytime he tries to escape, it's like Pika and Dressrosa where he morphs the hallways and
he can hear it too.
Yeah, he feels it. Like I think
he's like, hey, somebody's tickling my balls. Somebody's down there, down south. But also,
he said that.
So, are you under the assumption that Moria is still captured? Because I always feel like ever since that chapter, I feel like Moria is already out, to be honest.
But why would Perona say like because Perona has like the intangibility and can go down there? Why would she say like he is there if she didn't verify that he's? You know what I mean? I feel like that tells me that Moria is fine.
I think Moria escaped Hachinosu because what we saw from Perona and Kobe was a flashback where Perona was like, hey, Kobe, I'll give you the keys. You need to release Moria. And then we cut over and we don't see Perona again. And we just see Kobe leaving the island. in my eyes, I see Kobe as like this really straight arrow kid, where I feel like he would have just immediately freed Moria and then bounce off. I feel like he wouldn't just be like, "Oh, thanks, Perona," and then just forget about Moria.
True.
So I do feel like I do agree. A lot of people are like in the air about this one, about whether or not Moria is still captured or not. I still see people saying that Moria is actually dead. And it's like, I don't know. Like Perona apparently saw him. So like I am under the assumption that Moria's already long gone and we just haven't seen it. Maybe Moria pops into this cover story actually. Maybe that's where we see him again. I think that'd be kind of interesting. I don't know why he'd come to Wano, but maybe he's here because Kaido lost and he has something he needs. I don't know.
Yeah, I just feel like for Moria's character, there's more that Oda can do with Moria's character with Blackbeard than without. Like, cause then it's like Moria, he'd be solo, and then he'd just be like buffed up solo monster man that isn't with Cross Guild, or maybe he joins Guild, but like
he needs to join something.
I feel like his Shadow's powers, his lore, I feel like there's too much. Here's another thing, right? Like,
what's up?
If they're going to Wano, he's familiar with Wano. He's one of the only characters that is familiar with Wano besides Caribou. But Caribou, in reality, isn't familiar in that sense. He's like had been there under the duress of Luffy and Kaido, and so he knows Udon really well, and he knows the ground. Like, Moria made it to Wano on his own, like with a crew, you know what I mean? So it's like Moria is one of the legendary pirates, so to say, that act like in the same light as Whitebeard and Luffy, and like technically Kid didn't make it there on his own. He was captured. Law went there with Luffy. So it's like as far as crews go, Whitebeard, Luffy, Moria, he's in that same boat, which is crazy. So it's like maybe even there's a plot get back, and now Shusui's also there again. He could bring back Shusui. That'd be crazy.
Imagine Shiryu has Shusui or Ami no Habakiri. That'd be sick. So Ami no Habakiri versus Enma, and Shiryu just takes the sword. That'd
like
be
Shiryu
huge.
is like, I hear your 3-sword style, and then he learns 3-sword style too. That'd be crazy. And then Shiryu also goes like, I'm also dad. Like, no, my real name is Arashi.
I'm just imagining like Shiryu pull up, and then Shiryu's like, "Oh, Zoro, I heard you're familiar with this blade." And Zoro's like, "Wait, what happened to Hiyori? What happened to Momonosuke?" And then he's like, "Why don't you go see for yourself, Roanoa?" I don't know.
Also, I gotta check
that could be pretty
Shiryu's
sick.
name. Isn't Ryu? Ryu is like dragon also.
Yeah.
And then she could be shortened for white, so he's like White Dragon. So like that could go hard in Wano. Maybe he has some connections too. That's the other thing.
And then Zoro's the Black Dragon. No, he's not.
No, I was saying
it sounded cool for a minute. I was like, wait, Zoro's the Black Dragon. Wait, nah, never mind. I was thinking about its attack, Black Rope Dragon Twister, but it's Black Rope.
Where does the rope come from, though?
I don't know, dude. Do you think that's like some history? Some Japanese history? Black Rope, Dragon Twister.
Maybe it's not Japanese history, but rope is just a problematic. I don't know. It's fine.
No, what do you mean rope is problematic?
I don't know. We don't have to talk about it here. I don't want to get demonetized. It's not. It's
what? Are you scared of rope par?
Yeah. It's just the context. It's just Zoro being the mind. So like having. Yeah, you got it.
Nah.
No, you don't get
it. Rope is rope.
Yeah.
Rope is
maybe
rope.
There is a Japanese thing with the rope thing, and I'm just being racist, so it's fine.
Japanese people do love rope though. Like, no joke.
Yeah, I mean,
it's in a lot of like no. It's in a lot of traditional artwork.
Define traditional real quick.
Like sculptures.
Okay.
Like dragon sculptures, sake crafting, like a lot of things like that. Like rope is everywhere, dude.
Yeah, like Yamato has like that belt thing, and like Odin also had that weird like bow belt thing that was made of rope. And rope is cool.
That's
also traditional. Yeah.
If you don't have a crazy mindset like Par, Vasco shot here, then yeah.
What do you
Rope is a
mean?
very normal thing that's still used in the modern era, guys.
I literally referenced clothing, and you're still on me. I thought you were going there. If you guys
Nah.
don't know, this is behind the scenes. The first collab me and Sai ever had was him bringing me on to his Twitch stream to rate hentai. This is the craziest thing ever. That was the first
Never happened. And Par's one of those guys who will look at you deadpan in the face and say, I don't watch porn.
What do you mean? We sat there. Your mods
No.
on Twitch will back me up. I swear to God. No,
Par's
your
one of those
mods on
guys
Twitch
who's
are
like,
your
I've
best
never
friends.
seen a girl in my life.
Yo,
All right,
Wrath,
so
Reptar, please get my back.
so
You know what I'm talking about.
So let me see here. We talked about the cover page. We kind of talked about Blackbeard, a couple of the different options as well. Oh yeah, so with Moria, last thing. So I agree that I can't see him acting independently anymore. So who do you think he joins? I mean, well, Blackbeard could be a solid option, but he's not really joining them. He's just being held hostage. Do you think Cross Guild is a solid option? Do you think Neo Mads? Do you think he's gonna join the world government? Which that one's kind of a joke, but
Cross Guild is like the fun one because
Yeah.
I'd love it for all the warlords to come together. Plus, it would fit my Cross Guild like theory of like their parallel of having like the strongest people on there, similar to like the Rocks Pirates. The Rocks Pirates ended up having the strongest entities that ended up becoming warlord or not warlords. Do we know if Yonkos? Yeah, Yonkos we know, but like, oh no. The guy on Hachinosu, we don't know if he was a warlord or anything like that. But the point being is like there that would fit really well, but I just like from a power perspective and it's like a story perspective because like Mori was like this broken character that was kind of like that was thrown to this wayside by the world government, kind of like Impel Down level 6 prisoners, right? Like
Yeah.
Mori was the one of the only characters aside from Luffy that has a personal assassination hit seemingly because of his fruit or whatever. Like that's what Doflamingo said is like you're too weak for your power or something like that. Some weird like explanation for why they need to assassinate him using Doflamingo of all people. When later on we found out they had the Holy Knights, they could have sent some CP0.
They should have sent Kizaru over there, to be honest, dude.
Yeah, well,
Light Man versus
right?
Shadow Man.
And they sent like 6 pacifistas and Doflamingo, and then Absalom saved Moria. And that Absalom part is the most significant thing because Absalom is one of Moria's most loyal crewmates. Dr. Hogback isn't that loyal in most regards. He wanted to flee Thriller Bark because he was just excited by the scientific
Adventure.
experimentation that he could do with Moria. Yeah, I was gonna say adventure, but like he was sitting there, and Moria gave him corpses, gave him the powers to revive everything. So it was like his dream. But once Moria started falling down, Dr. Hogback was down to leave. Perona was also very loyal. We see that, right? But like as far as like Absalom was this character. Perona was like young. Like I think in the SBS, Oda says like Moria is like to Perona. And so like Absalom doesn't have that. He's just homies. And like Absalom got like went to Marineford undercover the entire time, and saved Moria from Doflamingo and then we don't know his state, but like Blackbeard seemingly killed him. And so like if you wanted a Moria to join, that's not really the best way to get Absalom to get Moria to join your crew. But if Moria had a huge tie to his previous crew that he lost to Kaido, and that's what sent him in this spiral. He's like, I don't need a crew anymore. But it could be that like maybe Absalom is that one exception. And so if he has at least Absalom's body, then maybe he makes it into a zombie thing, and he's still with like the Blackbeard Pirates. Like,
oh yeah, that's what I would do, man. Like if I killed Absalom and if I had Moria in jail, I'd put Absalom's corpse in the same prison cell as him. Just facing him every day.
Dangle a bunch of bodies like, hey, you want this shadow? You can have your friend back with the user.
Or maybe you could like dismember Absalom, and then like every time Moria makes you a shadow or a zombie, you just hand him another body part from Absalom, so that eventually Moria can put together like a fresh corpse of his old friend.
And that's kind of like the Absalom plot point is what I'm holding off for, because I feel like Blackbeard and Devon and like the characters there are the type to use the whatever they can against him, to the point where they used Absalom to get Moria to, like they're like, like this guy, and they baited him when they acted Absalom to bait him in. And so I don't see why they kept his body. They also knew to keep his body, according to what Devon said. And so that's like a weird perfect recipe for Moria to be like manipulated to stay, in my opinion, right?
Okay.
And I don't even think Perona would be able to break whatever mental trauma that his, like, I don't even remember the hierarchy, but I think Absalom would be like Moria's Zora, and he died. And so Moria's like, yo, you were my only crewmate, really.
Nah, dude, I would take it a step further. I would say that Absalom is Moria's ace. They're like brothers.
Yeah. And again, like, of the commanders,
really good
that
people,
he had,
good friends,
he's the only real one. Perona is like a daughter. Hogback was like a mercenary,
a hired scientist.
Yeah, and Absalom was just there. Like, he was just like, yo,
for no reason. He said, I believe in Moria. Moria's gonna be king of the pirates.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's literally it. He's like, I'm now a lion elephant hybrid chimera. I'm happy with
Yeah,
Moria,
I just want to help my man.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna go with the fun one. I'm just gonna say Cross Guild. Moria, please be safe, man. Please escape Blackbeard. He's not good for you.
I do want Prime Moria to come back.
We're gonna get like Uncle Iroh Moria out of prison, like super buff or something.
Yeah, whichever way we go, if we get Prime Moria, I'm happy.
I think this is the age of glow ups. Like, I think Moria's gonna come back super powerful, or at least like, in his quote prime state. I think Weevil got liposuction from Green Bull. I think the same for Queen as well, because Queen got attacked by Green Bull and got sucked off. Like, I think there's a lot of characters who, if they mention they had a prime body, I feel like we're gonna see a prime body. Maybe Weevil might be an exception, but I mean, he's also like a clone, so I feel like we could twist that one a little bit. We'll see.
Yeah, maybe he gets the best parts of all the, because it looks like he's not just one thing. He looks like he's multiple. But the Queen didn't even look that good when he was young.
What are you talking about?
In the cover, so he didn't look.
He looked like, good.
No,
dude,
he didn't.
He literally said verbatim, "If I was skinny, I'd get all the girls."
Yeah, that's what he said. But I'm looking at it. I remember chapter 1070.
He looked cool.
He looked cool, but he didn't look like King, the Wildfire Maskless.
Okay, well, you're comparing him to King Lunarian, which that's unfair, right? That's unfair. I'm gonna say it right here. Queen in chapter 1070 had Luffy's fire hair before Luffy had the fire hair.
So did Hyogoro, and we're not gassing up Hyogoro.
Well, he's like a Wano citizen. They don't have rights, dude.
Where did that come with this?
I don't know, man. I've been reading too much about the celestial dragons. I'm losing my mind, Bar. Save me.
What I will say is, you said the era of glow ups, right? I think that's problematic, because then, like, then the world government doesn't have good looking people to counter. It's just a bunch of good looking people.
What are you talking about? We have Garland.
The Gorosei are butt ugly. In fact, their transformations make them more ugly. And then the God Knights, like, we don't even know if they're all geriatric at this point, probably. Like, Figarland, he killed Mosgard, but like, how many times did this man have an opportunity to do anything?
Dude, we're gonna see the rest of the Holy Knights, and they're gonna be so cool. Just watch.
I agree with you. I think Oda agrees with you too. He has an entire like 3 SBSs explaining why he like old men. He said he doesn't like how in Shonen or whatever they always are fiction. They're not depicted with the same glory that they had when he's trying to show, like, if you live your life a certain way, you retain a lot of your youth if you just do it like correctly. And I could see the God Knights, even if they're old, they would be competent. But it's like, I think especially once we finish going through the chapter 2, there's like a hefty discussion about where's the power in the world government, and if it's not in this part, is it in that part, or is it just all with Imu? I don't really know. At this point, I'm just expecting Imu to carry everything. And it's not fair because I think Garling is similar to Dragon, where it's like, realistically, if this character existed in the story this entire time, there were so many entry points for this character to have affected history. Like, how many times does Marriage Raw have to be raided? Like, that's at that point, it's worse than Dragon, because Dragon at least had a safe headquarters for 20 years, and he maintained that, and he's still, like, his core is fine. Whereas the Holy Knights, I don't know what they're protecting, because they had their thing, they had their stuff on fire 3 different times in the story, and it's never mattered. And I'm like, wait, but like,
what? And even the Gorosei, because like for the Gorosei, that's like their front yard too, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy to think about how often Marie's Raw has been disrespected, and I feel like it needs to end.
Yeah, bro, the Saint Saturn,
the Celestial Dragons need to step up. They need to throw down the ball.
Like, if they're gonna be doing this, like, do it. You know what I mean? Like, stop. Like, they're committing these atrocities, and then, like, apparently anybody can just walk up and burn a fire, and they don't even care. Like, who killed Fisher Tiger? Strawberry, Vice Admiral Strawberry.
Whoa, Strawberry and Kizaru. Come on.
No, Kizaru wasn't there when he killed Fisher Tiger.
Oh. Wasn't it just... Wait. No, Kizaru was there. He was on that island.
No.
He fought Arlong.
No, he didn't go to the island.
What?
Arlong was captured by Kizaru and was interrogated, but Kizaru wasn't there. It was just Strawberry.
You're right. That was after the fact. Man. Okay, see, blame me for wanting to give Fisher Tiger a cool final fight, okay? Right?
Yep. Strawberry did the job of all of the Holy Knights. Like,
you know what? You know what's crazy to think about?
What?
Vice Admiral Strawberry from like 30 years ago, or, you know, some crazy timeline, was able to take down Fisher Tiger. And you're telling me none of these Vice Admirals can take down Dorian Brogy? Come on. Vice Admirals, man. Dude, they should have brought Strawberry to the island. I think Strawberry could solo the Straw Hats, man. Dude's crazy. Jinbei's final opponent. Jinbei's final opponent. It's Strawberry. We found it out here. Thank you, Par.
I think, like, there is some nuance where, like, Fisher Tiger didn't fight or something like that because he just kind of accepted his fate. But, like, at the end of the day, so let the Holy Knights do that. Like, and, you know, you could chalk it up to, like, Oda didn't write that go, whatever. Like, you could do that. Fine, sure. But, like, that doesn't change that we are having to accept this same kind of... It's like a worse fate than Dragon, where it's like Dragon, we're giving him so much flack for not doing certain things, where it's like, we need to give that energy to the Holy Knights, because the Holy Knights literally, like, yeah, let's take Saturn's perspective. They are all insects. Again, we've had this conversation. You or I would never let ants set fire to our front yard multiple. We'd pull out the raid, not Shadow Legends. We'd insecticide the entire... They wouldn't even be able to breathe at that point, you know what I mean?
And not just that, but like, if somebody attacked Marie Joie and I was like, you know, a Holy Knight or something, after we exterminate them, I would find out what island they lived on, Buster Call it. You know, pull like a Gold D. Roger like kid hunt. I'd be like, yo, like, these guys disrespected the world government. We destroyed him. We're destroying their village. Done.
I mean,
and then you put the fear of God in people.
We do that to insects. If you have an infestation of insects in your house, you don't stop at killing the one you see. We hire exterminators. We fumigate, gas, holocaust our houses for the insects.
You destroy the anthill. You pour hot water down, and like that. You destroy the hive. Like that's how it is.
And you've probably seen this. Is like
we make good celestial dragons.
People, yeah. Hey, let me hit you with the next level. We make trophies out of the anthills. Seen this where people get molten like silver and gold and pour it down the anthills and make sculptures out of the vast networks by melting them with molten metal like lava.
Yeah, and then they pull it out and just put it in their house.
Yeah, that's what. Could you imagine Celestials doing that? Oh, this was the last cleansing event island, just in their house.
And then he has like a row of skulls in his house.
Yeah, like,
oh man,
we are.
Yeah, see, there's a reason why we're not Holy Knights, bro. There's a reason why One Piece isn't real. We'd be too crazy. I like to imagine even some of the holy knights would be like, damn, all right. You know, like, who invited this guy?
Yo, like, no,
The
actually,
Gorsi would be scared of us.
the Holy Knights would look at our human history and be like, God damn, they have problems, bro. Like,
Yeah, humanity
they're
has
the
its own
same
problems.
species.
That's funny, dude. That's so
At
funny.
least we treat our ants better than they treat each other. That's wild. Like,
Yeah.
no
Also,
way.
one thing that I found out that was kind of slanderous too is that Strawberry wasn't even a vice admiral at the time. He was a rear admiral. A rear
See,
admiral with what is it, like 5 good men with guns? Damn,
listen,
dude.
he had
That's sad.
the tallest hat in One Piece. At least he could say he had the tall. What, like this? It's not a forehead. It's just a hairdo, right? He had the
It's just a
tallest.
hairdo, yeah.
Yeah, so at least he has the world's tallest feet, right? Like, so
Yeah.
shout outs to him. He's
And Fisher
something.
Tiger wasn't a bum, which is kind of sad.
Yeah, he was.
Fisher Tiger was not a bum.
Yeah,
The fact that he lost
which,
that fight, super sad.
which again, going back to the glow up stuff, I just, I want the world government to have some glow up. Actually, the line of logic that I had at 11:08 at that call at the end of it, about how I was saying like, I think if there's a third party coming, it's probably on Saturn's side. Except obviously I chose a different group because it was unfathomable. But like, I'm like, my mindset was like, we need to stop helping Luffy. Like, Luffy doesn't need help anymore. Like, the other side needs help, and it's almost insane how much help the other side needs. And it, even after this chapter, after reading it, I'm still like, they still need help. Like,
I don't know. We'll talk about it. We're
We'll
about to get
talk
there.
about it,
But
yeah.
before we get to that point, we're finally
Yeah.
going on to the first page of the chapter after what seems to be an hour. And dude, we have a
Sunday.
time limit for the villains. Vegapunk is like, yo, like 10 minutes before, we drop the message, whatever. And it's kind of crazy because when I read this, man, I lost my mind just by reading the spoilers. And then when we got the actual chapter and we realized that Shaka wanted to make it an hour, I'm like, okay, all right.
No,
Now,
Stella
now we're
wanted
getting
an
silly.
hour. Shaka wanted
Stella.
10 minutes.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
sorry. I got twisted. It's hard because they're on the same page. They're on the
Yeah,
same
yeah,
panel.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
watching a YouTube video. All their mouths are moving. I don't know what's happening. But yes, they wanted an hour originally, and then they knocked it down to 10. And it's like, thank God for that.
Yeah, because 10
yeah.
is still in the worst timeline of after 11:08. If you remember, I think this is mainly a conversation we had on the stream where I had a poll running that said, "Hey guys, is the truth of the world new information or old information?" And I think 30% said old information, meaning we'd get no new information. Then you came on and we was like, maybe we just get the ancient king. Mostly it's 1066, whatever. And then I hit you with it, and you kind of scolded me a little bit. You said, "Don't speak it into existence." And then the chat also said it too. I said, "What if we get blue? What if in Oda's nature we get blue balled, and like we don't get anything?" And then you were like, "No, no, no." Saga. The chat was like,
No,
please
but I
stop."
also said it's scary to say because that's something Oda would do, which is why I didn't like that idea. And then here we are. 10-minute timer, and you know what a 10-minute timer means in One Piece. That is at least 4 to 5 chapters at the very least.
That's
insane.
Because the chapter reading was so early, because the release is weird, I had Brago come on stream, and he told me that he thinks that because of this timer now, like prior to 11:09, he was like, yeah, maybe a few more chapters, 3 or 4 more chapters. After 11:09, he's like, man, maybe 15 chapters. He literally said 15 chapters, and I'm like, and he's saying that
one
like,
chapter for 1 minute.
The timer takes up some of it, and then there's the conclusion and fallout and stuff and then we get into next arc. So he's saying 15 for the rest of Egghead. But yeah, if you go back for all the 10 minutes, all the countdowns, it's like 10 chapters like around, and it's kind of crazy. It's like 6 to 10 chapters and so we're getting that. And I think that we're in the world where it's we get blue balled. I think we do get blue balled into the scope of like, I think that Vegapunk says like maybe like he gets like like 30 seconds into his message and then something happens, like I'm worried.
It's so interesting too because like for such a smart guy, like surely he has some like security in this broadcast not being stopped. Like in this chapter, Saturn's like, oh, I think it's coming from the labo phase. I think what would be awesome is that if this broadcast wasn't coming from the labo phase and it was off of the island and it was unstoppable. Like I feel like opening the door to like the Gorosei being able to stop the broadcast is such a bad move in my opinion, especially when you're putting a 10-minute, almost an hour countdown on it. So I kind of hope this is like a gotcha moment where maybe they go upstairs, there's no broadcast. What if the camera turns on them like Chris Hansen, and then we see all the Gorosei in their demon forms caught in 4K trying to stop the message, and that itself sends a message. Like there's a lot of ways Vegapunk can do this where this timer looks good, but I don't know. And plus it's interesting too because Vegapunk tells people to prepare their visual transponder snails, and it's like, wait, what do you mean visual transponder snails? Is Vegapunk going to show us, you know, footage of the dinosaurs, footage of the Void Century? Like, does he have a hologram plan to like, you know, play out for them like a puppet show? Like, I'm not sure what the plan is here, but I'm not super upset at the time limit because I feel like there's a chance that Vegapunk is, he knows what he's doing. Yeah, and it's also interesting that only Shaka and Pythagoras are in this video. The pretty much everyone in the video is dead, right? Yes. Vegapunk's dead, Shaka's dead, Pythagoras is dead. And it's like, okay, like I wonder why they didn't invite Edison, York, Atlas, Lilith, which turned out to be like a good thing because York is evil. But it's also like, what was his thought process in this? Were those like his most trustworthy satellites, perhaps? I don't know.
So I actually like I told Brago my theory because he came with a similar question and then he ended up liking the idea a lot, but it requires a lot of. I like it mostly because a lot of the qualms I've had about Vegapunk throughout all of our discussions about like, oh my god, this invention, Professor Calamitous and how he could never finish it.
Yeah,
and like every single one of Vegapunk's inventions, like. He said it's impenetrable. Laser Dome's very penetrable. He said like this thing about something, boom, it's not true. And like, yeah, he's still incredibly smart and incredibly successful in his inventions, and he's doing things that no other stories do. But it's still like, yeah, then like you were mentioning, like, oh, I want this broadcast to be unhackable. Meanwhile, they hack themselves. Like York literally was like, ha, and then. And then 2 seconds later it's done, right? So it's like yeah, sure, no one else has a Vega hack him, and then like they needed the whole squad to show up to deal with this. I like that idea that like, hey, the signal isn't on the labo phase. I like that idea. I would almost say like maybe there's a world where it's not on Egghead, and some people came with various iterations of that. One being like maybe that's why they called Dragon. But like if that's the case, then like how would Dragon have facilitated this? This guy seems more clueless than like Patrick Star in SpongeBob. I feel like Patrick Star knows more about what's happening on Egghead because Dragon just ... every single chapter we see him, and that's still continuing in this chapter. So, and dude's not going to give us any insight. I would like it if you know that setup, right? Like them saying like, oh, we'll give you guys 10 minutes, and then on camera they're memeing on the world government, but mainly the Goros. Like, hey, like what's the chances that they stop this thing? Let me calculate it real quick. Oh, they suck ass. It's not gonna 10 minutes.
I really like the idea that Dragon has the broadcast signal, because that would explain why Dragon hasn't made a move, right? Like Vegapunk calls him, is like, hey, I'm dying. You need to stay home because I'm going to send you something, or you should be receiving a package in 2 hours, and you really need to make sure it's protected. I think that would be an amazing plot point, and it would explain why Dragon hasn't moved.
Yeah.
But will that be the reality? I'm not too sure.
It also fits one part of the one thing that Oda has given Dragon, and he actually had a cover story on, which is that the Revolutionary Army has like almost what seems like a monopoly on white Dendenmushis, which are known to be the ones that you can't hack, you can't wiretap. The black Dendenmushi is the one to wiretap. Whites are impossible. And so if you needed to broadcast a thing and you couldn't, if you were afraid of being the wiretapped, then hey, use a white Dendenmushi to broadcast it. So Dragon also has that technology. He also has a network across the globe of operatives and everything like that. So he has the network, he has the equipment. He seemingly because he called in everybody from all the blues in order to come over to Kamabaka Queendom originally was Baltigo, but then Blackbeard showed up, and then he rerouted to Kamabaka Queendom. So he has everything. So, and as far as Vegapunk sending him the message, that could be done in so many different ways, right? Like if the world government and Morgans has news coups and bats, and Vegapunk surely has something that can send like a USB stick of some sort, right?
Yeah.
But you know, that's all like insane. You mentioned the Pythagoras, Shaka, Stella. Those are the ones who have died, and that really, off of reaction, that was something that's really stuck out to me because and someone brought it up. It's like, yo, like that's really interesting because then it's like these are the ones that died, and when they said that, I was like, oh wow, what if? Because this is the crazy nuance of this video. This video makes all the Vegapunks wanted. Now they're all criminals. So now Vegapunk went from the world government scientist to this video makes him a bona fide criminal. There's no going back. So everybody's face that he shows is now going to have a wanted poster. Vegapunk has a wanted poster. There's 3 of them. They're all going to show up, right? So after this, Vegapunk's wanted, but they don't have any of the visuals of the ones that are alive. And the reason why that would be crazy is that would give, and would fix a lot of the qualms. That would mean that Shaka, I'm giving it to Shaka, I'm not giving it to Stelly. Shaka might have like precogged all of this situation and made it so that the ones that are going to die are us 3. The ones that are live aren't going to show up on the camera, so that the world government can't make a wanted bounty for them, a wanted poster for them. So they'll end up like Frankie, or they'll put up like Shaka, Stella, whatever, but those are the wrong posters. But the main thing is, the reason why that would be important is what you mentioned about the video feed. Why would the video feed be important? It's that if they were going to show something live and creating that prep time of like 10 minutes, an hour, whatever it is, and like essentially baiting people, the Gorosei, to bring up the ultimate power that they can to stop the transmission, saying on the call, yo, the odds of them doing is pretty low. So that would warrant the Gorosei, considering Vegapunk is the world's smartest man. It just comes off of months of them investigating if he's been studying the poneglyphs. So if they studied the poneglyphs, he created Mother Flame, he deleted Lelucia. Vegapunk has that information. Yeah, they would send an insane force, right? And if the video feed turns out to be a live feed of what's actually happening here, that would be an incredible like precog moment for Shaka. And I would love that because that would like rectify so much of his character. It'd bring in if the transmission is coming from Dragon, that would help with the Dragon's character, like you said. If it's something that he like meditated, like all of this scenario, if the scenario didn't even warrant like Luffy coming, right, and it still would have worked out, insane. I would love that, and I would love for like a chapter where Shaka explains that too. You know what I mean? Because then, you know, I don't want that to just be a theory. I want whatever decisions went into making this video to be explained. And I think that, like you said, like, why is the only ones that are dead here? I feel like that simple detail is like really, really important, right? We keeping track of like who's alive, who's dead. Wait, if the live Vegapunk showed up, that's really bad for them. This video, them recording it, they know that they're going to become criminals. So why would you have the ones? Then also, how would you know that they would stay alive? That's really crazy. And then maybe it'd be crazy if York was in on it. You know what I mean? York was the traitor, but also like wasn't the traitor.
A double agent. They wanted to lure out the world government.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, you know, I've been sitting with this idea, but how do you kill a spider that's like holed up in their thing? You have to lure them out. You know, like that's what you do with like wild spiders. And then the burrows, you have to
put some Sprite outside.
Yeah, and then they suck it up, they suckle it, and that's what they did. They,
you know,
all these insects swarming, they couldn't resist.
One thing about this too is that it's hard to imagine that the Straw Hats would even protect this broadcast signal in the first place because they don't know what the heck's going on.
Yeah.
They don't like Sanji's still like, hey, Vegapunk, wake up! What are you doing? You know, Nami, Usopp, and Chopper are like, hey, like what's this video? Like nobody has any clue about this broadcast signal. So Vegapunk not prepping anybody about this or briefing them about this, I feel like is something to take note of, because that must mean that Vegapunk is so sure that this message is going to go off without a hitch, in my opinion. Like, this is the
Yeah,
world's
yeah,
smartest man. Like, if he already precogged his death because Shaka called Dragon, then it's like, surely he knows that this would have been the case. And also,
yeah.
I think this message in this 10-minute timer, I think this is going to assist the Straw Hats in escaping the island. Because, like, the Gorosei, even at the very end, they're like, hey, we need to stop this message. Like, Saturn in his head was like, yo, we don't have, or no, the Gorosei said it. They said, Saturn, we don't have time. And then Saturn said, okay, I'm going to summon all of you. Like, yes, they're going to try to deal with Luffy, but their main priority is stopping this message. I would say this message right here, if you had to weigh it, I'd say stopping it is more important than beating Luffy.
Yeah, from their perspective, 100%.
Because it would because this message is going out to everyone in the world. You know, Luffy's been running amok for years now at this point. I mean, Luffy, he's an anomaly. You know, you find him tomorrow. This message, the minute it goes out, the entire world is just going to lose trust in the world government, depending on what it is.
I like that you said depending on what
crazy.
it is, because we talked about the idea of being blue-balled, right? But then yesterday on my watch party for the latest episode, we talk about the chapters before we get into the episode or after, and someone mentioned something, and it was so dumb, but like, not that their message wasn't dumb. It was like the nuance of it happening was so dumb. But then I was like, you know what? Like, low key, you're kind of right. The world doesn't know this, right? So like the thing was, it's like, what if Vegapunk's message is that the world is round, and like that's like a shocker, because like in the One Piece world, they don't know necessarily that, like, because like if you ask someone Zoro, Luffy, it's like they see a map, it's like, wait, the world isn't flat. Like only maybe Nami probably has the history of the thing, but it's like, if you told, like, our world went through a crazy flip, we killed people when someone said the world was round. We killed the people that said that. You know what I mean? Like, that was a shock to the world. And I'm like, that's so dumb. But like, wait, you're kind of right. And we're going to like the heliocentric, geocentric thing with the Luffy being the sun, and then the planets, and it's like maybe flat Earth. And it's like, if everybody finds out, like, wait, the planet is round. Wait, huh? Like, if that's not common information, Vegapunk could just be like, there's many shocks to this message. First off, the world is round, and then they end up cutting off the message, and the world is still shocked. They're like, what do you mean the world is round? You don't fall off the edge? What's happening? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it could even be a new invention. What if he's just showing off his coffee maker?
Yeah, like the microwave thing. Yeah. But here's the other thing that I liked as far as the message in particular, and we can go back to like the situation that the message is going out on, but a lot of people are bringing up this thing, and I didn't know what to think of it, and I still don't know exactly where my head's at. But they were saying, like, is it significant that Fuchsia Village doesn't have a video transponder, Snail, so they won't be able to see the thing? So is it possible that whatever Vegapunk's message is, or whatever Vegapunk is going to show, is something significant to like Whoop Slap and like the other people?
Oh my god, yeah, Makino needed to see it, but she's not.
Yeah, like,
that'd be so sad.
They're gonna see something, and it's gonna be like, wait, what? And I can't think of anything that would relate. Like, what? Like, Delhi is a gore, like, I don't know, like, or Garp, like a holy, like, I don't know what would be the message. That's why when people brought it up, I'm like, I get where you're coming from.
Maybe,
I just don't know where it goes.
Maybe Fuchsia Village isn't significant in that aspect. What if Oda just wanted to show that they're poor?
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking, like, hey, maybe it's just like, this is just like, not everybody has it.
They talked about breeding snails too. They were like, yo, like, it's not cheap to breed some video transponder snails.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, dude, the snail economy is going crazy.
Which is also weird, because technically the part that makes it a video transponder snail is all man-made. So they take the snail and then they add like the transponder part that calls, you add that on, and then the video part is an antenna that goes on top.
But here's the thing: what if the snail was born like that, though?
It's not. Oda has said that in the SBS.
What if the snail is born with some inside brain receptors, and then they just build off of that?
At least like the video transponder part, because it said that Vegapunk invented that. One said that because Frankie talked about returning some snail or creating them on Zoe, and then people asked in the SBS, like, wait, Frankie can make them? And then he was like, yes, the part that makes it is just like a electronic attachment, and you can take it out and it doesn't affect them because the person was like a PETA agent or something. They're like, does this harm the snails? Does this process hurt the snails? It's like, it's a snail. I don't even know if they feel pain. Whatever. The point is, the only ones that I think are different are the black one and those are the ones that be like grown, I think, because you can't change the color of the snail. You know, that's.
I mean, well, if you can paint a blade black, you can also paint a snail black. You can paint a snail white. And maybe you can change their functionalities.
Soy sauce.
Yeah,
like
some soy
salt.
Sauce. That would kill them, yeah.
Yeah.
Just soy sauce the snails.
No pain, no gain. That's what I'm saying. You know, you gotta. That what you always say with like JJK, like you have to give up something to get insane power.
Yeah,
so
binding
like,
vow.
Yeah. So the black Denden Mushis, they have to go, and that's why they're shrunk. They're super tiny because they get all shriveled up from the soy sauce. I think
maybe that's the hidden snail lore.
Yeah. I swear, if I submit that to SBS, Oda would probably like, you know what? You're right. That is.
You know what? That's a great idea. That is amazing.
Yeah, no one discovered this. Like he's gonna make Part Vision a canon character. He's like a snail enthusiast, and he's just torturing snails in soy sauce. I wouldn't be mad if I got put into One Piece in that light. You know what I mean? But yeah, as far as the Fuchsia Village thing, I was like, I don't really know what to do with it. It's just that they're broke. Like, why would they need to steal?
They're broke. They got no money over there. They're poor.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. With the Marineford thing, did they not see the broadcast? Because God bless them if they didn't see it. Some things are better not.
Maybe they
seen.
didn't. Do you think they just heard like a play-by-play on football?
I don't know, because like then because like
Luffy made it 40 yards. He got sacked.
I feel like if they heard the radio or they saw a news clipping, I don't think that explains how angry Dadadon was. Dadadon, isn't that the anime?
That's yeah. You're thinking about like something else.
Yeah, Dadon. Like Dadon just on site just started wailing on Garp. Like that's like you saw it and you were mad.
No, well,
you know?
okay, but what if the newspaper is a little bit different? What if the newspaper shows a picture of Garp like throwing his fist up and then Ace's dead body's right beside him or something?
Like Sabo over Cobra, but Garp is like, whoa!
Or like that one I forgot who it is, the iconic boxing poster where he's like doing this like and then the guy's like on the ground
and he's just lifeless there.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe Garp was just posing up in front of Ace's dead body. Maybe that's it.
But like as far as the video part,
W Marines,
I think the only significant thing is showing what the Gorosei look like. But does that change like what the world government?
I don't think so. Like you can just say Marines, they ate a devil fruit and that's it.
Yeah, and then they could be like, this is why devil fruits are evil, because they look at the abominations they turn. We've been looking to cure them. It's so hire me as PR. I could fix it in a second. You know what I mean? If it's just showing them, you know, it's kind of weird if that's just it, because it's like devil fruits are like, I don't know.
I would even say that Saturn's form is a form of peace and tranquility.
Okay, see, that's crazy. We could tag
what do you mean?
PR
What do you mean?
here.
I'm gonna be their PR. Sai? No, we can't paint them in that good of a light. No, what are you talking about? It's great. It's great.
Yeah, but we can't say that they're a symbol of peace and tranquility in that form. Like,
why not?
If you show a picture of the Gorosei in their like senior citizen center, and they're like, they need help getting tea and crumpets, and like, we just like peace and tranquility. Like, you know, like then they put out their own video where they show like MTV Cribs a little bit. You know what I mean? And then they just show their day-to-day. They just walk to a place, they fall over.
You're right. Oh, it could be like Friends. You know how like they have that couch in the holy room or whatever? It could be like Friends. They're just hanging out and there's like a laugh track playing. Saturn's cracking some jokes. Dude, I kind of want that. I said it last week. I said more people would feel bad about Toasted being one shot by Bragi if we had his backstory. Like, what if we saw his wife, his family?
I saw you get into
like Ace. Yeah, dude. Like that's just how it is. Like, the only reason we don't care about these Marines is because we don't know him, dude. Like, I feel like Toasted could be a really good guy afterwards. He could be the kind of guy that, you know, he'd be like Zeph, right? He gives you all of his food and he's like, hey, like, you eat up, young Marine. Like, I feel like some of these guys they're not all bad. They're not all bad.
To add to that, and on the flip side, for the people who may still disagree with you, I feel like Tosa and many of the vice admirals and admirals would also care about the Straw Hats if they knew their backstories, and they would be like, "Oh, yeah, you're kind of cool."
Yeah,
like another.
The world
character.
is about
like,
misunderstandings.
Exactly.
We don't in One Piece, in the real world, the only reason people fight each other is because we don't understand the other side.
Yeah, we don't.
That's all it
we
is.
don't want to sometimes, and you know, but sometimes that's the hardest choice. But as far as Tosa goes, I'm okay with. He hasn't done anything crazy where I'm not.
Dude, he had the
Look at
10
his
finger
backstory.
guns, man. Like, come on.
Dude's named after a dog. Like, he
Yeah,
has to
dude,
be
cut
somewhat
the
cool.
guy a
Come on.
break, man. Some of these VAs are sick.
Yeah. Bluegrass might be one that I'm like, you know, I don't
No, what if she's
necessarily-
a sweet old lady? What if she's like, she could be a grandma, Par.
I mean, she probably is, but I'm saying like I don't need background information for me to let her rock. You know what I mean? She's just out there riding people. I don't think that changes.
So like for
with their
Bluegrass, I feel
backstory.
like her backstory could be like maybe she was a Marine back in like Garp's, like she mentored Garp and Sengoku and all them because she's so dang old. And then
Yeah.
now, like, that she's so old, all of her friends are dead, and she just wants to inspire the new generation of Marines. And then she looks at Tosa and some of the other VAs, and she looks at Kobe and like, oh, that's my grandson. I'd give my life for him. Like, dude, give him backstory. If there was a two-piece, it could go hard.
Yeah, but
I don't
that
know.
doesn't change that like she manifested her powers by riding people.
Hey,
like that's not really...
sometimes the devil fruit chooses the person, man. All I gotta say. All I gotta
but
say.
that makes it worse for her. That means that it was like
she's
like
riding the new wave into the future.
it was a quid pro quo with the devil fruit. Devil fruit's like, this is the person that's gonna let me live out. That's for Bluegrass's character, because that means deep down she's wanted to like essentially just enslave everything. Like,
oh, you don't
or
know
like-
that. You don't know that for sure. If we want to talk about
dominatrix, yeah.
slave owners, I mean, I can bring back Tama into the equation.
Tama. Tama's
Slave
friends
master
with them.
Tama's crazy.
Tama wanted to be friends with them.
Yeah, it's Stockholm syndrome with them. Like, I mean, of course I'm gonna be your friend if you feed me Kibi Dongo and I'm forced against my will to be friends with you for a little bit. Sure, yeah.
No,
Put me
but
under your control
every
for a
month-
month and whatever.
No, but every month they get to choose whether they're underneath her.
We
isn't
haven't
that
seen the
SBS?
after a month thing. Yes, but we haven't seen it though.
No, but in the
raid on
SBS
Onigashima
they
took
said,
less than a week.
Yeah, but in the SBS, I think they said that like everyone gets a choice afterwards if they want to, and I don't think
Afterwards, Par, you're enslaved for a month regardless. What are you talking about?
But
You
she
can't just
doesn't do
negate the
any-
month.
Yeah, but
That's
she's-
like if I were to go across the street, kidnap somebody, and be like, "Hey, we're gonna be friends after a month," and then after a month, I'll let you go if you want to go. Like, no, it's still bad. It's still bad at the end of the day. Like, I feel like Luffy being the liberator. Maybe he should
Yeah.
take down Tama. You know, maybe we go back to Wano. Hiyori's burning Tama on like a cross or something, and then Luffy joins in.
for your war crimes, Tama, you're
Yeah,
essentially-
Tama. First off,
The
you're
guillotine.
Kurozumi, nasty, bro. Second off, your devil fruit's kind of crazy. Or maybe you. It's like the
No,
Avatar in the
no,
Fire
baby.
Nation. Maybe you let
No.
Tama live, and you don't kill her, so her devil fruit won't respawn.
Yeah, you just give her sea stone, like she has to wear a sea stone collar outfit for the rest of her life.
And then this could fit back in with what you said earlier, like your big theory about Yamato being like the jailer. Yamato's only prisoner is Tama. You're right, Par. No, your theory's hitting, dude.
No, it's not my theory. You need
Your theory's hitting, man. All right. Mine rope.
No. So
Which ties in-
when you said like
What's up?
go across the street and kidnap your neighbor, and like I that like what if you gave them like in my head I was saying what if you gave, and I remember this story. You probably know this. This is like a 50-50 conversation, but there was like this story of this like Chinese kid who was stolen by his parents, and the parents that stole him were billionaires. And then he found out that his family, like he found out later in life when he was like 30 or something, that they weren't his real parents, and he went back to his real parents. And everyone's like, "What? He went from billionaires to his biological parents?" Turns out his biological parents were all, like basically billionaires too. So he was just like one like and he went back, but he still has a good relationship. I'm like, what if it's like that?
What a weird story.
Yeah, it's a fun.
Yeah, what if it's like that for all of Tama's slaves? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. You know,
All right, give me-
Kaido at least fed everybody in his crew. You know, Tama, what does she have to offer? One key.
Oh my god. Oh yeah, so speaking of mind rope though, look at this. Saturn, dude, communicating with the Gorosei. I love this, man. Anything to
Yeah.
give these bozos some power-ups, I eat it up. So people always wondered, like, Sai, why do you like celestial dragons? Why do you like marines? Well,
Uh,
the reason why for both characters is a little bit different, but for the Gorosei at least, I want good villains. I want competent villains because at the end of the day, Luffy is always going to win. Luffy is going to become Pirate King. He's going to beat the world government. It is set in stone. Anybody who thinks that the Marines or world government will beat Luffy, insane. But until that happens, I want these guys to look good. I want them to be like this crazy force so that when Luffy does beat them, it'll be awesome. So seeing that they have some sort of new powers here, I loved it. Maybe it's mind rope. Maybe this goes back to the snails. Because remember a minute ago, you cooked up this crazy theory where snails of different colors do different things. Maybe, I like what you said, there's a snail in each and every one of the Gorosei's brain, and it's just communicating all these messages back and forth.
Wait, when did I say that? Wait, huh? I said
It's one of your theories.
Let me go check the catalog, the Punk record, the Par record for that
the
one.
Par, oh, that's a good one. The Par records.
Let me go check that one real quick. But like the mind rope, I had a simple tweet. I just put hashtag One Piece 1109 mind rope is canon because like I thought it was already canon when Shanks did it, but then we had the whole dispute like, oh, him and Green Bull aren't really having, and then the anime literally. Like them, like literally speaking to each other. Shanks said one thing, Green Bull said one thing, going back and forth. I'm like, that's it.
Well, okay. So for the Green Bull one, I have some cope for you though. I have some pushback on that one.
Okay.
Because so since we know that Shanks was using hockey, like to hit Green Bull, there's a chance that the hockey was like just writing the letters on his back. You know how like Jiraiya and the frog, like Jiraiya's like, writing the message on the frog's back. It's the same thing with Shanks and Green Bull. He was just writing, stop attacking Wano.
Yeah.
Are you afraid? New era.
Famously was able to crane his neck over and back to his. Oh no, he's a good, like, that game that you play with people. Oh no, you're gonna say it's like.
Wait, what game?
Write something.
I'm a gamer, dude.
Back. Like you write something on someone's back.
Like Chinese telephone.
Yeah. Oh, is that what it's called? Yeah, I think I've seen that.
Well, Chinese telephone is different, but it's the same premise where you like start with one message and then it gets more and more messed up.
Oh, isn't that just regular telephone?
Maybe. Well,
because
no. They call it Chinese telephone because like back in the day when the Chinese call you, you never really know what they're saying. Nowadays, if a Chinese person calls you, it's not that bad. But I bet like in the 1900s, getting a call from China is kind of bewildering, right? Like,
isn't that with any call? I think any call. Oh.
No, Chinese is kind of crazy, man. I'm Chinese. I'm part Chinese, my man. I could say it, but sometimes when I pick up that telephone, dude, it's like, it's like if there were subtitles, sometimes it'll be chicken scratch. If I'm not ready to communicate, if I'm not ready to like translate the words being said to me. Sometimes it does translate as radio hockey waves.
Yeah.
I bet you understand. I bet you have like a similar story with your language, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Bar, come on, you can't leave me by myself here. Jump in, brother.
I was just looking up because I remember there was like a story that said like Alexander Graham Bell, like I think one of the first phones was like the White House got it, and then I think like the second one was like his girlfriend or something like that. I don't know if that was like a real thing, but like he used it to like have a booty call or something like that.
Oh my god!
I don't know why. But once you started spewing out the whole Chinese phone calls were gargled up, like I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna look up the history of phone.
Wait. So it's not called Chinese telephone. In China, it's actually called Chinese whispers.
That's so cursed.
Chinese whispers. That's even better, man.
Yeah, that is kind of better. That's
what the Gorosei are doing here. The Gorosei are playing Chinese whispers.
Whatever it is, okay, let's give it mind.
Saturn,
right?
Have you dealt with Vegapunk yet? You bozo. What are you doing? What is this message?
My problem with I you know what is actually real? My problem with this is kind of the same problem I had when Mind Rope was in my mind. It's not canonized, but like I knew Oda was gonna bring it into the story. Was in Film Red. When I sat in the theater and I saw Yasop and Usopp do what I basically said Mind Rope would be capable of. And I was like, Yasop and Usopp needed to go through character arc before this is applicable. You know how annoying it would be if you're like let's say Usopp didn't like his dad and his dad just like telepathically talked to him. I was thinking about that too. You can't turn off telepathy, right? Like Saturn, like they could just talk to him and he could talk to them
It's
whenever
a Discord call.
Discord call, at least we have to like notify each other we're hopping in. These dudes, like if I open up our voice chat right now, yeah, my mods or other people can hop in, sure. But like in this scenario, it's like, why didn't they talk to him at any other point in the story? Like, why haven't they been like using the hive mind of all the things? Also, if they've been able to use telepathy, why have they been using their mouth the entire time? Like
Hey, we don't know that, man.
Like
maybe they have been. We just don't see it.
Some of the people in my chat were like, bro, if I had telepathy with my homies, we would never be like that would never be happening. We would it would be so much faster just to do that. We didn't have to be in the same room. And then other people like this one. This is memed, but it is significant because this is like more recent that in order to speak to Emu, they need a Denden Mushi. So they can't telepathically talk to Emu, it seems like. Where even if Oda didn't want to introduce that power fully to us, Emu is the type of character to do the catch-all of like, oh, if they're doing telepathy, it's probably Emu doing it. You know, like, you know what I mean? Like, no, then Emu has telepathy. But apparently they need to use Denden Mushi to talk to Emu, but they have a boys-only Discord call.
But here's the thing. Like, this goes back to your theory of the snails being in their brain. This goes back to your prime theory, Par. What are you talking about?
I've consulted with the Par records and all my stuff. I don't know where it's from. This must be one of the fake accounts that post my videos like verbatim.
Yeah, Steel D Theory.
Yeah, no, Steel D Theory respects us. Okay, he might be out there doing the very thing we told him to do, but he also appreciates us. He was against Buster calls. He came in and super chatted on my live stream against the Buster call stands, straight
Steel D
Theory.
Steel D Theory has 69 subs on YouTube.
That's what I'm talking about, guys. Let's get him to monetization, boys.
Yeah, let's get him monetized. Steel D Theory is so good, man. I need to make an actual like full-length video describing how to go about this.
You know what'd be crazy? It would be so crazy if like Steel D Theories is like we meet him eventually, like 20 years down the line. He has a successful YouTube career off of this, and he just looks like a morph between you and me. That'd be kind of wild.
No, he has a ski mask on, and then when he takes it off, it's like it splits down the middle.
Oh no!
What if one day you wake up and then you hear a voice in your head, and it's the Chinese whispers from Steel D Theory?
Oh, not the
Your Chinese whispers, man. That's hilarious.
He stops listening to our videos and instead just taps into our brains like with
Every theory you're about to put out, he actually future cites it.
Yeah. But that was also I'll bring this up later because it's funnier with the later scene that happened. I just like when I read it, I was like, that's kind of annoying what Saturn just did here. But we'll get there when we get. I also the I don't know if the TCB translated this way, but I'm reading the officials now, and it says, what happened with Vegapunk? And he said, Kizaru killed him. He should be dead now. I think I saw it, and I think like
I'm like 50% sure Vegapunk is dead. I'm not too sure.
Isn't Vegapunk right there on the ground?
You know, it would have been a flex if Saturn could just be like, yeah, I sensed his presence fade. You know, like I use my overwhelming observation hockey, or like, you know, I Fujitora visioned and I saw his colors fade out of existence. His flame has been extinguished.
Every fighter on Onigashima heard Luffy's voice vanish. Kyogoro, Law, like even like Momo and Yama. Where did these go? You're telling me Saturn doesn't have? Oh my god, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, dude, they could have made Saturn look so cool. But instead, he was like, Kizaru killed him. I think he should be dead.
No.
I'm not 100% sure. It's one of those things, you know. And it's like, and then plus, it's like you're counting on Kizaru to deliver the finishing blow. Like, yeah, the man loves his job, but like they still have like that relationship. Like even if Kizaru at this point in the story was so diligent and he was willing to kill Vegapunk, I would still want to like double check, you know what I mean? Like I got double check that homework to make sure he's not like cheating or something, dude.
I mean, considering he's already pulled it over your head
Also,
like 3-4 times.
One thing too, now that we know that Saturn has venom and he can coat his legs in, you know, in venom, it's like, why didn't he use that against Vegapunk so that no matter what happened afterwards, Vegapunk just dies no matter what, right?
Wait, there's so many things I didn't think about. Holy shit.
Yeah, like he literally could have just stabbed him with venom, and then he'd be like, yeah, no matter what he does, he's gonna writhe in agony until he dies. But instead, he stabbed him normally. And then, you know, going back to like the conversation we had at the time, he stabbed him normally. He walked away so that everybody could rush towards him and, you know, try to give him chest compressions. And then later on, he activated the venom. It's so kind of, it's just so goofy. I don't know. And
You're
also,
right.
I like how he pushed all the blame to Kizaru, or like all the potential blame on Kizaru. Like, yeah, I think Kizaru killed him. But he doesn't mention the fact that he also landed a devastating blow. Like, yeah, like I attacked him and Kizaru attacked him. He should be dead. Instead of like, no. Kizaru, you know, he's finishing blow. He did that one. If he survives, it's Kizaru. I don't know, dude. Yeah. It's a crazy one.
He's also embarrassed because like he hit Vegapunk and Vegapunk was like still well alive. Like he was out like talking to people, whereas Kizaru hit him one time. So like Vegapunk, Saturn's just like, oh, I guess I'm just a weak little boy. Like,
dude, I also love how like they hop in here. And then they're like, what is the meaning of this, Saturn? What is going on here? It's everything we wanted, because while they're not making fun of Saturn, but you can tell they're like, Saturn, what is going on, brother? Like, yeah, you know, like it's like joining into a Call of Duty lobby. Like you're hopping in with a friend. You're like, you got off of work, you know, you have a couple of beers and you're like, oh, like Joshua's online. Let's hop in Josh's lobby. And then you hop in and they're like 0-4 and search and destroy. It's like, what is going on, dude? Like you good over there?
And then also like the behavior that Saturn had towards Luffy prior to like this chapter and last chapter is like, it felt like he could handle Luffy. Between him and Kizaru, the situation, and
between the trash talk,
more and more not the case, to the point where it's like bro, like the other Gorosei, like this dude, he's fired, right? Like, is Saturn fired?
No. I mean, they're like you said, this is like friends, right? Like they're all good friends. They go to the same room every single day of their lives, which I don't even know why they go to this room at this point. If they could just mind rub, like have telepathy, it's like I wouldn't want to see these guys. Like I'd be like operating in my own room, but no, they're in the same couch every single day. So it's like no, I think they hold a soft spot for Saturn.
I think literally said exactly that. I said, if like me, I think Brago's in the call. I said like, all had to. We never see each other. Absolutely,
never.
No, there's no shot. Like,
if I could talk to you 24/7, I would never want to see your face again. Like we just talk every now and then and be like, all right, shut up, Par. I gotta, I want to focus on something else right now.
Yeah. And
that's crazy, man.
Oh my god. And you know what? I didn't realize until you said it. It's kind of relevant here, where it's like, the Gorosei contacted him out of nowhere, right? It's not like he was like, there's no ringer on telepathy. You just talk to the person and they respond, right? So there's also no way you can hang up. There's no way you get like they could just tap in and just like start annoying him. Like he could, like, you remember last chapter when he wasn't talking? It would be crazy if he was just talking the entire time with the Gorosei, and this is like a continuation. But like later on, it is late. Oh, man, I keep forgetting it's relevant to the later on thing. But like it's just like you can't say bye. Like you just talk to them. Like I could just annoy you.
You just have to take it.
Yeah, like at that point I'd be wearing like the conspiracy theory aluminum foil hat. I'd be doing every goddamn thing to prevent someone just telepathically communicating.
It's also crazy too, because Saturn doesn't have the ability to talk in this form. Like everything
from what we can see.
Actually, no. He says it at the very end when he says he performs a summoning. But outside of that, it's like, like, I don't know, man. Like something's going on with Saturn. Like this whole mind thing is so fascinating. It's a great power. I'm glad they gave it to the Gorosei out of all the groups out there. And I've seen people saying that this could be like a Punk Records thing, which I really like that idea. Like maybe they're all hooked up to their own Marie Joie records, and that's how they can talk to each other. Which could make a lot of sense too, because unlike the mind rope we saw in film Red, where Yasop could see what Usopp sees and vice versa, this seems like they're just like talking to him rather than like linking through eyes.
It definitely, and I think there's going to be levels to it, because like in the mind rope video, the one thing that I noted that led me to this idea of like telepathic communication, but even more than that, was actually Momo and Zunisha. Momo,
aren't you afraid of rope?
Through...
Now that I think about it, aren't you afraid of rope?
No, I'm not afraid of rope. There was not innuendo's not a correct thing to say. There was a... What the point is that Momo and Zunisha were able to see through each other's eyes via mind rope, is what I'm... It's like Voice of All Things, but it's like a little bit different, because it's like the other characters outside of these groups that have these powers seemingly are able to communicate. And like, listen, if Saturn can't sense that Vegapunk's voice disappeared, I would be cautioned. I wouldn't put in the same boat as even like the Voice of All Things, because Voice of All Things is that voice thing. That's like what Isa in Skypiea had when she was like, oh no, I hear voices disappearing, I hear people crying or whatever. Like, that's like Voice of All Things hockey. I think that they're doing hockey telepathy, and there's probably like an overarching thing that connects it, where it's like, yeah, you're probably right, maybe they can't see through each other's eyes, right? Because like, if that was the case, would have watching the entire time, right? Like, wouldn't that be the point? But like, we've seen them literally talk to each other in the same room with their mouths. So like, I don't know if they're just bad at telepathy, or they're just like not using.
Maybe it's telepathy that gets easier to use the farther away you are from someone. Maybe it has a really dumb stipulation like that.
Yeah,
that could be the case, man.
Yeah, and you can't even say that like maybe one of them is it, because they're all able to like talk to each other. So it's like it's not like Saturn said like comms on or something like that, or he didn't start. So it's like, I don't know. I really couldn't really tell you. Maybe these legs, maybe the reason why they're so bad at stabbing people is because they're not legs, they're antenna.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe, it goes back to your theory. Every single one of his legs has a snail attached to it. There we go, Par. We got it.
Yeah, imagine like, as meme as that is, we just see like a Dendemushi strapped to his like ears or something. And like, we think it's telepathy. Reality is,
yeah, it's just a headset.
Yeah, like
maybe that's it. Oh, it's underneath his hat. Yeah.
That's what the durag is for. Zoro's
there we go.
Power up. His is hiding the Dendemushi.
Yeah, maybe when Zoro puts on his bandana, there's actually just a snail underneath him, and then he has a perfect sense of direction. Maybe that's it.
I almost died on camera.
There's so many good things with that theory, man. I love that one. Thank you, Par, for sharing that one. So we go down a little bit. We see, the Vegapunk broadcast is being put out around the world, and I think for the third or fourth time in this one chapter. Okay, never mind. For the second time in this chapter, we see that Vegapunk's heart monitor is flatlining still. And it's interesting because I feel like Vegapunk at this point is dead. Yeah. But where are you with this? Because are we still in the same boat where like he's dead but he could come back to life? Or do you think he's dead? Like how do you feel?
Goddard all the way, bro. Like,
okay, cool. I'm on the same boat. Like
I straight up.
No, he's one of those characters that like Oda can kind of do whatever, and we kind of just accept it because he is like the world's smartest man. Like if Oda wants to write him out, cool. If Oda wants to bring him back, cool. Like, there's precedence for both.
Yeah, I think where I'm at actually lies more in the nuance of what the message. Like I was gonna mention this earlier, but like. Something that could be the reality is that this message isn't like that far out precogged. It's like maybe Shaka recorded this like in that night that they had before. Oh no, Shaka was already dead by then, so it would have to be like right before Shaka called Dragon. Maybe they recorded it just before then when they already knew that there was a kind of siege.
What if they recorded this video?
Uh-huh.
A week ago.
Okay. Okay. And
Oh, that was it.
oh, okay. See, if it's a week ago, I I think like any it's weird to say,
I
right?
was trying to think of like a good theory. It didn't happen.
Like if it was a week ago, that's big brain, right? But is it like that much more big brain if he did it a month ago versus a week ago? Because like none of
No,
these
not
things
really.
had happened, right? Like it is like, oh my god, if it comes out in the story, Oda says like Shaka has had this planned ever since Ohara. Like then it's like, oh,
Whoa, yeah.
yeah. But like, he can make it as minimal as like he called Dragon. Like I predicted my death, blah blah blah. I could see it, blah blah blah. And so if he precogged it, why wouldn't he have also had the ability to figure out how to like cope with the scenario where he dies, right? Because at the end of the day, we have to deal with the conundrum of the devil fruit, right? Punk Records is in existence because of the Stella. He splits himself off and clones them, but does that mean that all of the satellites have to die in order for the devil fruit to reincarnate? Or does it just the main body? Because that's like the weird thing that we don't really understand. And he's supposed to be the devil fruit guy that teaches us stuff, and he's dead. So it's like, but if we're going with the way, at least my favorite, I'm not saying it's the best way to understand it, but my favorite one is that precogged, he put the dead Vegapunks on screen, the live ones, because he knew that they would stay alive and he didn't want them to be wanted, all that stuff, right? And he planned all that. Then why couldn't he plan out a way for him to in the body? And that would be important to maintain Punk Records, right? It would just be weird though, because if he did precog it, then he could have figured out a way for Vegapunk to have stayed fully alive, like more than this, holograms, second bodies, triple body, hell, make Vegapunk pacifistas. At that point you have a whole organ transplant facility, or not a farm facility, like where he's growing organs. So like, why not go that low? And that's where I'm confused at the nuance of this thing, and then I'll figure it out. But I do think that there is like a very low bar for Vegapunk to have survived in the capacity of that we think, at least, where it's like the main Stella of some sort continues. But and I think I like the way we said it with like the recycle cur, even because even in that front, it's a diminished capacity. So all the problems of having the smartest man in your story still alive goes away if he's not able to use all abilities by being a dog that can't speak or something like that, right? Like then he has to use sign language and just go bark, and then like then they have to like listen or something. But so I and I didn't even notice it, but I feel like them adding the amount of flatliners kind of adds to the thing that's like, it's like really thrown in your face. It's like you only need it one time, right? We don't need it 4 times that he's like dead.
We see like multiple heartbeat flat lines, and it's like that's Oda just throwing it out there. I think he's trying to like subvert expectations, maybe. I'm not too sure. Like I said, I think it could go either way, because I have seen some people like wondering why people think that Vegapunk is dead. And it's like, yeah, I guess if you've never seen like a heartbeat monitor before, it is like a new well, it would be like a new concept.
Yeah. Hey guys, I don't know if you know what a heart rate monitor.
No, I don't know how many people know. Like, maybe being Asian, you also being Asian, like we have experience in the medical field at birth, so we just know what that is. Yeah,
yeah. Somewhere down the line, our ancestors invented monitors, like not even heart monitors.
Yeah, just monitors, Asus computers. Just it's crazy, man.
Yeah,
it's different upbringings. Yeah. It happens.
Yeah. It's in our DNA. If Vegapunk
you guys,
made us into
some people like lick their finger and put it up in the sky to see where the wind's coming from. Some people use the weather app on their phone.
Sure.
It's like the best way to put it.
Like, I guess what you're saying is like, what do you want Oda to like bring Vegapunk's heart to your ear, and like, do you want to see his heart stop beating, or do you want to just rely on?
Oh, this could be like one of those old like science books where like you open it up and there's like a fake heart there, and then you can like feel the pulse.
Yeah, that's actually funny because like I bought a book for my son that's like every page it's a human body, it's like a 3D model in the book, and every page it opens up. So the first layer is skin, so it teaches you all about skin, and then it lifts up the skin, and then you see the muscles.
So how old is your son right now again?
He's 14 months, 15 months.
Is he reading that book?
Well, he loves books, so like
okay, fair enough.
Yeah, he always.
I like to imagine he's like actually like taking this all in, like it's all absorbing. It's like, damn, dude, he's gonna be like a serial killer, man. Let me see underneath your skin, Par.
He loves cars. He says up when he wants to go up to like certain things. He's communicating really well. But the one thing that I wish he could communicate a little bit better, because he could say book, like he could say book. Like, and we know that would be book. Instead of that, when I'm there, instead of like playing with toys or watching, like if we have something to distract him for a little bit, he'll just take a book and then hit me in the head with it. And then he'll sit in my lap.
Dude, you should teach your kid like old English, like verbiage, you know? Like instead of book, tell him to use the word scriptures.
Scriptures? Yeah, let's make learning language hard. Yeah, let's do that. When he's already hitting in the head with the book and just say, book, read, and he could say he said it before.
Inscriptions.
It's just easier if I'm like laying down side and he just goes, and then I'm like, oh, okay, we're reading. And sits in my lap, no words said.
Inscriptions on parchment, Par vision.
Yeah. One day when he gets a deep voice like that.
Yeah. That would be scary. Would you be scared if like you're like hypothetically, like if your kid woke up tomorrow and he was speaking like in a really deep voice and like in flowing sentences?
His voice
would you be kind of terrified?
Yeah, I'd be terrified, especially because right now he has like we can ask him questions and he can give us yes or no answers, and so he'll just he doesn't like finish. He doesn't say yes. He goes yeah. He just goes yeah. He just goes
Close
like that.
enough.
He sounds like Yoshi a little bit sometimes. He's like yeah, and then he's like no. He says it like. It's kind of funny.
I love the Parvision kid lore.
Yeah.
Good speaking of kids, the Tontatas are back at Dressrosa.
And they're huge. Perspective is not a thing, or it is a thing, I guess. Like Rebecca, like almost is Tontata size. Leo is huge. Wait, is that
maybe
even
the camera's
Leo?
just kind of skewed? Yeah, that's Leo, dude. And that means that Leo made it out of Marie Joie. Yep. Leo,
yeah, I just realized.
I'd say Sai. I think Sai left too. I mean, if Leo made it out, I think Sai made it out. But it's crazy. They killed Mosgard. They killed Mosgard. They didn't kill Leo. What?
Yeah, but what if that's Katarina Devon?
Yeah, Devon is already at Dressrosa, getting inside Straw Hat information. And also, Rebecca is training at the palace now.
Man,
that's another big thing.
By her hockeyless father. Who's teaching her?
Tank is behind them.
Oh, sure. You know, someone in my stream
the defense of Dressrosa.
Someone mistook that for Garland.
Wait, what? Wait, who?
Yeah, they super chatted. They're like, "Oh, Par, what do you think about the whole up at Dressrosa? We see a guy in the background with a crescent moon hair." And I looked at it. I was like, "Where's
Tank? No, that's Tank. What? Tank is cool, like, man."
I was like, listen, like, I see where you're coming from. The hairdo, if you were just like in, you know, maybe partially, maybe fully blonde, and you just lines of the hair and you thought that was fun. But then when you look at the face and then you look at like where it's not that, and then the guy, the person was just like, oh my bad, I was only looking right when the face, it's not the guy.
And here's the thing, like, you know, if Tank was just a throwaway character, sure, whatever. But you have to remember, Tank was so powerful in Dressrosa that Doflamingo had to hire him into his crew. You know, like how in Wano, Kaido was like, hey, Ashita Doji, like, Kaido respects your strength, you know, like, you should join our crew. He really wants you here. Doflamingo went out of his way to recruit Tank. Like, dude, Tank is a menace. Do you remember his fights in Dressrosa?
But let's not forget, wait, Tank was part of the royal guard when King Riku was king, right?
Yeah.
So let's not forget that King Riku alone was so strong that he couldn't be stopped by anybody, any one of his guards. And Kiros wasn't there at the time, but so he ran solo, burned down everything. And Tank here couldn't stop it, but you know, he's that strong. Yeah, King Riku, famously.
And he was
Actually,
named
King
after.
Rifu's kind of strong.
And here's some trivia too. Tank.
You pulled up his wiki.
His name originated from the Fourth Ottoman Venetian War. This guy's a war god, man.
What do you mean he's?
That's
what the wiki probably just says. Like this, his name is Tank. Like
Tank
I could say
Lepanto.
Wait, what? He has a full name? What?
Yeah. What do you mean he has a full name? Yeah. It's like Monkey D. Luffy. What are you talking about? Of course he has a full name.
Tank Lepanto. Oh no. He actually has a last name. Nami and Usopp don't even have last names, bro. Oh,
that's what I'm saying, man.
The Battle of Lepanto.
Yeah, this guy's huge, dude.
Oh, you didn't even hit us with the crazier one. Incidentally, the nickname of the author of Don Quixote, which is very famous, it's like one of the most famous books in the world, which is Don Quixote and whatever. Apparently, Rosinante, here's another fun fact. He's the horse in the book. And then also, I think Che Guevara, so the person that like that dragon is like kind of like modeled off a little bit. His horse, he named his or something Rosinante off of the book too. But this book is famous, whatever. But going on, incidentally, the name of the author Don Quixote Cervantes is El Manco, one-armed, de Lepanto. So like Oda also gave Tank the last name of the author of the book that Doflamingo is based like thematically, surrounding. Kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Tank stocks are up.
Nickname refers to the Battle of Lepanto where Cervantes' left hand became paralyzed. Is that because Treble was his right hand and Rosinante was his left hand and his left hand was paralyzed? Oh my god,
I don't know, man. You tell me, guys. Are we gonna be Tank stance from here on out?
The Par.
You guys tune into the Par Vision's next theory video.
I like these are my favorite
Vision exclusive.
These are my favorite One Piece wiki things because this is not what Oda said at all, not from the SBS. And then later on it says Tank Lepanto's name might also be a reference to Cervantes, and it's like it's always like these might and it could and whatever. And then if Oda was hit with this, he'd be like, nah, I just thought Lepanto was a sick name, like. And
here's another thing too. We didn't even touch on the first name. Because Tank is also an armored fighting vehicle primarily used in war. So like you take that and you put that in the Fourth Ottoman Venetian War, I think he would stop, dude.
I was gonna say, I thought his name was just Tank and not Tank Lepanto. I was like, why didn't you just say that Tank refers to the armored vehicle that stormed World War I and World like.
I mean, hey, it is. That's just more fuel to the tank stocks.
Yeah, so we're gonna see him in the fourth great ninja. I mean, One Piece.
Yeah. Just wait, dude. Tank's gonna go off.
We're gonna see Tank pacifistas, not Kuma. Tank.
Yeah, he's a buccaneer as well. Yeah, just give him all the races. Give him all the hockey feats.
His hair turns white. He's does the pose. Oh yeah.
He has a different laugh from Luffy. He says, "Bwah ha 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 ha."
Yeah, you honestly,
never know.
Facts. This guy, you know what? Maybe that the Super Chow was right. He is a holy, just in disguise.
And if you see, so if you look at the panel where Tank's at too, his eyes are looking downwards, and underneath him, there's like this chicken scratch drawing that Oda did, and I don't even know what it is. I think it's supposed to be the back of someone's head, but if you really look at it, it could even be a poneglyph. So you could say that Tank is reading a poneglyph if you really wanted to get crazy.
And if you want to get really, really crazy, you could look at his cheek and see that Oda specifically drew the number 7 on it because he's the 7th Holy Knight. He's the 7th son of Figarland Garling.
This might be my favorite Parvision theory.
the stranglehold thing that you were talking about earlier, that's the Parvision. This is... Wait, can we talk about the guy underneath Tank real quick? Do you see that face? Like it looks like straight out of a comic. Like,
yeah, it's like Cursed Timeline Iceberg.
Face. Yeah. Buccaneer Cursed Timeline Iceberg is what we're seeing right there. Like he doesn't have an eye; he has like an eye fold. Like this is class.
WWE Banger design by Oda.
Yeah, Oda's in his sauce for sure with this background character.
So
he might even be the most.
He might be the Holy Knight. Actually, we could be cooking.
Yeah, if we're worried about Tank Lepanto, we should be worried about Plane Lepanto, the actual like fighter jet Lepanto.
We should be worried about actual tanks. Those are scary.
Yeah, he has the tank devil fruit.
That would be kind of busted, dude. But I don't know. Beige was kind of like a tank, and he lost.
Yeah, and technically, Baby 5 can turn into it too, right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, tanks aren't that impressive in One Piece. But Leo, he escaped. I don't know why they let Leo go, to be honest. Like, if you're going to kill Mostguard for giving the order, why not kill the people who hit the Celestial Dragon while you're at it?
Yeah, maybe
it's kind of crazy.
They didn't have handcuffs small enough for Leo?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe they just don't like Tontatas. Maybe the Tontatas are going to be exterminated next. I think that'd be huge. I don't like Tontatas.
So what, they laser down Dressrosa?
Yeah, or like destroy the flower field.
Yeah, but they're not there anymore. Because they're allowed to live because Doflamingo isn't there anymore.
Yeah, but I mean, Tontatas still like love to take care of flowers. That's like their ancestry, right?
I guess so.
Okay, wait. If you had a grandpa, no. Okay, let's say your dad or your grandpa told you, "Hey, Par, 1,000 years ago, our family used to be flower kindlers. We used to put flowers in pots. We used to like water them. We put them up in the sky and everything, and just all this stupid lore about flowers." Would you make it your life's goal?
Stupid? These are my grandfather's stories.
It's dumb, dude. It's dumb. Would you keep the history going and also plant flowers?
You called it stupid. What do you mean?
Okay, pretend like I didn't call it stupid.
I can't now.
I don't know, man. Like, I feel like I wouldn't do something because of my ancestry. It's like I do it because I want to do it. I got free will, dude. I don't know.
I mean,
like being tied to the flower field is kind of silly.
Proximity, there's meaning.
It's like Zunisha. Zunisha's like, I committed a crime 800 years ago, and now I'm walking. It's like, okay, like did somebody force them to do that, or are they just doing it out of obligation?
You could say that about like the U.S. and following the forefathers who very obviously predicted in the internet, cell phones, like modern warfare. They definitely created scriptures, because that's what we're gonna call it now. They weren't books, or scriptures.
The scriptures
that predicted, the current geopolitical that their constitution.
Oh, wait. One last thing.
Yeah.
One last thing. Instead of picture books, tell your kids or tell your son to call it hieroglyphics.
I'm down with that.
That's cool. Yeah. Show me the hieroglyphics,
I'm gonna do it
father.
That everybody else writes books. Everybody else writes text. I am the scripture. I am the hieroglyph. Anything. My son goes to school. Is like, oh, so I checked my father's hieroglyphics. And they're like, the what?
Maybe that's it.
Yeah, that's a good one. I just like to meme it on this teacher. I send him in with like actual hieroglyphics that like he's saying that I wrote. And are you Egyptian? No.
I'm not Egyptian. I just like them. It's cool.
Yeah. I just went to the pyramids and just like took a rubbing of the wall.
It's like the rubbings of the poneglyph.
Yeah. That's what I did.
There we go.
Good. Yeah.
What we talked about again?
We were talking about the genius of Iceberg's assistant. I like that touch.
Yeah. We're skipping down a little bit. Alice, right?
Yeah, Alice. You know? Yeah.
Is it Alice? I don't know. Italian. You know me. I'm scared of like
Italian
Italy.
Food.
Yeah.
Yeah. But since we're speaking about genius kids, I figured segue genius child, because this is canonically she's a genius, and
she looks like Kuina, or she looks like Kid Tashigi, huh?
And she's accomplished way more than all of them combined. Kuina and Tashigi combined, she like without her, Iceberg would be falling apart. Because in the cover story, she was also doing everything. In this one, she basically precog the transmission and had everything prepared. Each dock is outfitted. The entire island is prepped.
Definitely going to be the next leader of Water 7. That's for sure.
For sure. Deserves it.
Yeah,
Move
well
out
deserved.
of the way, Iceberg. The Titanic is
Iceberg,
here.
he looks tired, bro. I mean, he's yawning. I called him Joe Biden in my review video.
I mean, that's because it's morning time. What do you mean?
He's always no. Iceberg is always tired.
No, he's not.
Yeah, dude. Remember back in Water 7?
It says wake up, people.
In Water 7, Iceberg was always yawning.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, he
You're
was,
making
bro.
that. What is the one character you brought up? Tank's wiki page. Bring up Iceberg's wiki page. You're gonna edit the wiki page right now. Like Separ, it says that he's chronically sleepy. He's not. He
Okay,
never
let me see.
Like
So
I'm
Iceberg is a
remembering-
okay, here it is. Iceberg is a tall, middle-aged man with blue hair and similarly colored lips. He wears red and orange striped jacket over his unbuttoned orange shirt with a wide collar. Got you, dude.
I was like,
Are you
expecting to
following
write
word
in
for
line.
word?
No, yeah, I pulled it up just to deal with your tomfoolery here, and you read the appearance. You didn't read.
Hey. I don't know what you're talking about. You know what they say, anything to fit the narrative.
Wait, you could have actually. There was actually something here that you could have read that you could have taken out of context, and I was like, "Damn, wait, you're right."
Is it like what his speech thing where he says, "Oh my"?
Iceberg at times. Well, the picture they put underneath his personality is him picking his nose with his pinky, which is kind of
Oh my
funny.
gosh.
Like, why did the One Piece wiki do him like that? But it says the first line here says Iceberg at times seems to act rather childish, canceling all of his meetings so that he could show people around, refusing to meet with people that he does not like them or something like that. But you could have just said that he cancels, and that would have been right. And then like, yeah, he's lazy and always sleeping.
You know, to be fair, if I was a leader, I'd probably be sleeping too, man. Get in some Z's.
It's also morning
really
time for them. It seems like Oda even drew like it faded in the background, like the sun hasn't risen yet.
Okay, I agree. It's early. It's probably like 11 a.m. over there.
See, we have to remember that the world is round, and so like when we're going across the world, Oda's reflecting the time zone. So the shocker could be, hey guys, the round.
But people know about the time zones, though. That's the thing.
Do they? When has the time zones ever mattered?
Morgan's. He says this isn't the current time at Egghead Island.
Oh, well, Morgan's
chapter.
different, right? Because again, other people knew that the world was round time when we announced the world. It still shocked them, but they still killed all of the other people, and there's people who are just quiet. They knew that the world is round. They figured it out. I forgot who it was. Cornelius, Nicholas, whatever. He knew the world was round, but he wasn't first. He was just the first to say it to the Pope. But apparently, also the reason why he was guillotined was because he was a douchebag. Like apparently he memed on the Pope, and he made fun of him for his stupidity and stuff like that. So like whenever he was called, he would be like, "See, this is why you don't get bitches," and like in that. Something like that. If
I was the Pope and somebody said that to me, man, I guess we're throwing the guillotine his way.
Yeah.
Especially back in how long ago was that? Like a week ago?
1500s probably. 1400s.
Yeah. That's where they kill people for looking at you the wrong way, you know?
Yeah, and he had this guy saying that the Earth was round, but also my girls didn't like you. For sure, that guy's dying, right? Like,
yeah, that guy's dead.
Yeah. It's not because the world was round. It's because he made fun of the Pope.
You know what's cool? Crazy. In this chapter, we see like the West Blue, North Blue, and South Blue, and these are islands. I'm assuming we haven't really seen too much of. Like, I'm assuming North Blue is Karakuri, Vegapunk's old hometown, but that's just a guess. I don't even know for sure.
Oh yeah, no, that's the grandpa, right?
Yeah, it looks like it. And then they say the man who lit up the world, as if yeah. So I'm assuming that's what it is. But like for the other places, it's like, okay, are we gonna see these bozos again? So with this news, I guess we already talked a lot about what we think it could be, what it might not be. Oda memeing on it, but I could see some of these places being up in arms if it is like Void Century lore. And I could see them wanting to join Dragon. I don't know. Like, it's hard because, like, these are just civilians. It's like, what could they do? Like, I guess, given the right circumstances, like, that one girl from Dragon's Crew going over there and using the flag. I guess that could inspire them. But outside of that, it's like, will Whoop Slap and the boys, for example, actually hear this news and be up in arms? I don't know. Like where would they go? Like to their like local politicians and complain?
I agree with you in the scope of like I think that one of the reasons why Shaka calls Dragon is because Dragon is going to, because it's like this message, the result of the message, I think, as far as productivity and moving the story along, would be, hey, like Dragon had to solo instigate 12, I think, revolutions, 8 successful ones, and that was all him fighting the uphill battle of having to fight the propaganda machine that is the world government, the protection that they give, the power that they give, everything. And he's not doing it in a occupation type of way. He's empowering the citizens to do that, and what that requires is the citizens to finally be fed up with whatever BS they've been dealing with, and throwing it towards the king and overthrowing him. And in that light, information is one of the most tools. And so as far as what you could tell the world, like even what they told the Straw Hats in 1066, I don't know if that's like is that going to motivate the people? Oh, they lied. So what? You know what I mean? That history has to have some substance that would make you mad, right? And what history, like Robin, they the story, right, of the O'Hara thing, but the one who's personally slighted by it is Robin. Her entire island was killed over history. And it's like, that's something that the world could be told. Like, oh yeah, O'Hara, they were just researching Robin. This is what they wanted to tell you. But at the end of the day, like the name of the ancient kingdom, does that matter to the scope? Does that mean that the rest of the world would go and revolt because they now know that there was a history that the government's hiding, and that the name of the ancient kingdom, even if they heard what Clover said and Vegapunk said to us in the chapters, I don't think that's grounds for like the common day people to go up in arms and revolt against a system that is opposing them. You need a situation where like the Dentatas and stuff, they were like being lied to. You need Oimo and Kashi, who's being lied to about the captains. Like you need stuff like that. But like, what could Vegapunk really say? And I'm like, again, I was like, the world is. I think something that could be said is that, you know, the one part that Shaka did tell us is that the world was way more advanced than it is now, and it's ultimately because of the world government that we don't have that, where people had food, people had their freedoms, people had all these things beforehand because of how advanced technology was. Everybody was smart because they tapped into this thing. That's the kind of information that Vegapunk could give the rest of the world. And he could say something along the lines of, because the world attributes him to lighting up the world. He could be like, back then you didn't need me. Everybody was their own light. Everybody had to be me. Everybody had the ability to take the power in their own hands. And like he could say something like that, and that would be insane. And that would be really powerful. Is that what's going to be said? I think he has to get to a lot of conversation to
convince people of that. Like, it's not like an easy pill to swallow. But I think one cool takeaway from this is that no matter what he says, you know, it's going to sow some sort of distrust in the world government. And what would be cool is if we see the Holy Knights hit an island, because, you know, Dragon's like, hey, when they mobilize, whatever, and the whole thing was to destroy their food. There's no food at Marijois. Imagine the Holy Knights go to like the next neighboring island and they're like, hey, can we get some food? Where we're here to take the tribute. We're here to get, you know, supplies. And then the civilians are like, no, dude. Actually, no, let's not give it to these guys. I think that itself would be a way for islands to fight back without having to join a war. I mean, granted, the Holy Knights are probably going to kill them, but I mean, you know, it'd be like that sometimes.
Yeah. Like I think there's so many ways to get to the same result. It's just a question of how much gravity does Oda want to message. And as meme as it is, there can be a world where can get that result. It's not personally likable to us because what we want is the story to progress, right? But we have to remember that as far as the One Piece world, they're oppressed and their information is suppressed. They know they know less than we did in East Blue. on the grant, like on the. It's weird because like now our Kumas are speaking the good word about it, but
Yeah.
as far as like how the world works, yeah, like I think we as viewers know more about the world from East Blue than most people do. Period.
What if
In one
what if all they do here with the message is they play a Charlie Chaplin video?
and achieve what? You didn't think that far, did you?
No, I didn't think that far. I just thought it'd be cool. Like I'm trying to think about like the visual aspect of it. Like what is he gonna show? Like maybe I don't know, dude.
Maybe
Like
this is where Uta comes in.
Oh my god, yeah. Uta's music video pops up.
Yeah, like
sends him onto the
Vegapunk's
spirit world.
Like no, you know what'd be crazy? Okay, there's two ways that like when you call your bank, put you on.
Yeah.
And now on a 10-minute hold. What if it's like, and now with entertainment from Uta?
Oh, that would be nice. Yeah. I mean, I like the entertainment right now where they're like, hey, let's get some coffee, but it'll take 10 minutes. Should we invent something? I don't know.
Yeah, I like that.
That's hilarious.
And then the other flip side is like, I think that this message would be better brought to you by Uta. And then Uta sings songs the whole thing, and everyone's like, loves Uta because at least that part apparently is canon. Like, Uta is like renowned person
she
that
exists
we've never
there
heard.
Somewhere.
Yeah, that's just fit to replace Brooke or something like that. Like, I don't know. Maybe he does it in the. I think you would hate it if Vegapunk pulls out Bing Sake or something like that.
Yeah, if Vegapunk starts playing Bing Sake, I'm gonna get like visibly upset. I'm not gonna make any like the Parcast is gonna be around that week. I just don't want to hear it.
You're
like, my hatred for Bing Sake is kind of crazy, but
yeah,
I like it. It's important. It's gonna come back. The lyrics are meaningful, but let me tell you, I might have to skip that part of the episode. I don't know. I don't like a lot of soundtracks, man. I'm really picky. Like the whole like Luffy's Dream segment where they're playing like the reamp version, like the slow down reamped version of the first opening, I think is what it was. Yeah, I skipped that, dude. I had to mute the TV. I was out.
Hey, comments. There's gonna be a bunch of people like, that's why I love Psy. That's why I watch this channel.
Dude, there's some people who are like Psy, like, because I did a reaction to it, and they're like, Psy, I can't believe like you weren't tearing up or you didn't like it. And it's like, dude, like I've heard this song a billion times. I don't want to hear it again. Like it's slow. It's not the best song out there. And when people say it's a good song, it's like, oh, are you bumping this in the car? Like, what's up? Like, you listen to this every day or something? Like, what's up? Like, it's an okay song, but it's like it's not like the best song. Let's be real.
My wife knows Bing Sake too. She likes it.
Stop, dude. When me and my wife watch Bing Sake, we skip it, dude. Brooke is over here playing the violin. We're like, well, next episode, man, it's over.
My wife knows Bing Sake and the other song, the midway thing. I actually watched a musical director. Never watched One Piece. Wasn't looking at the visuals. He watched the opening or listened to the opening song, the current one, and he described. No, like the Egghead, the OP.
Yeah.
And he described the visual. He wasn't looking at it, but based off the sounds and how it was moving, he was like, this is what it feels like. And he was basically one-to-one describing it. And I was like, that's so crazy, because that would mean that like they put a lot of detail in. Like he basically described
the guys like Daredevil.
The Straw Hats via sound. And he was like, it sounds like this kind of sound is meeting this kind of sound. And what he was describing was when the Straw Hats all run together and jump off the thing. So what he was basically saying that it sounds like this like very stoic sound is meeting this chaotic sound, which meeting this like funky jazz sound, and that's Sanji, Zoro, Luffy, and it's meeting this other thing. And he said 6 different tracks blending in, running out, and I was like, that's insane how much depth he was able to grab from the thing. And so I think like all the music is probably like that. Like if this director heard all of it, what happened?
So you talked about music, sorry, but we're talking about music Void Century. There's a chance that the music fruit that Apu has is gonna make a comeback in the Void Century or like some sort of flashback. And I'm 100%. Scared of it, dude. I'm so scared of that, bro.
Oh, I've already swallowed that pill. That's 100%.
It's like a fear of mine.
That's why I'm happy that my mutual friend Brent Mukai voice actor for Apu, because I might not like Apu, but he's
one with the poo.
Yeah. I like the voice actor in the dub for Apu.
Oh yeah,
And
the dubs are good.
yeah, he's solid. And like if you're saying Apu gets more screen time later on, I will skip the sub to watch the dub, and
Dude,
I'll listen to my homie Brent.
if the Ancient Kingdom were a bunch of musicians, man, I'm sorry, guys. I'm rooting for the opposite team. If we go to the Void Century, they're playing drums. They're over here, going at it with the acoustic guitar. I'd be like, yo, Emu, where you at, my man? Like, you gotta eradicate these rats.
After the stream, if I remember, I'll tell you something that I came across, and I was like, I don't like this, but this could be what this means. And but as far as
so right now you're pulling a little bit of a dragon, huh? Hitting us with the ...
Yeah, I'm hitting. Hey, I don't know if you saw what he looks like in the anime yesterday, but he looks like a main character. Like, I was saying this to my stream, I was like, bro, the anime is getting catfished so hard because like we didn't even see him like that at the part that they showed in the manga. We got like a little dot in the back of a silhouette, and then we saw him, right? And they gave him the coolest silhouette, like the wind is. I mean, we were memeing like, oh.
Yeah,
He's
like
in the West Blue now.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, Dragon looks good. Like, he doesn't look like a bad character, so that's why I think people are just wanting him to do something, right? Like, do something, man, please. But do something, Dragon.
As far as the Egghead thing, we also have to remember it's called Punk Records. Punk mean like punk rock. We came from Punk Hazard. Vegapunk. Like, there's a musical thing to his name, but then it's also records, which is like a musical like reference as well. So it's like,
yeah,
this message could be done in song and dance.
Oh, what if it's a music video of the Void Century?
Maybe it's like a music, like they did it. Like, what if Shaka, Pythagoras, and Stella come out with like they're making the song, and it like we get this part in the song.
Oh, what if it's what if what we're getting is the ancient robot's memories just on display? Because since Kumo was on the island, he just like, potted out, and they're like, hey, here you go, guys.
Yeah, okay, no, hon. I know you might not like the music, but I just realized this could be the way that Vegapunk puts out the Nika rhythm, the drums of liberation. So the soundtrack would be and so that way he wouldn't even need to say it. It would just be everybody knows the song.
I've made my peace with the music.
Yeah, I think maybe we get the drums of liberation. Like, well, we already have like the OST or whatever for it, but like lyrics to it. You know what I mean? Like Vegapunk. We find out that Vegapunk is a slam jam in the studio,
But what if 800 years ago, when like the drums of liberation were first around, language wasn't formed yet? So instead we're just getting a bunch of noises, just like ho, 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 like just like just yelling.
Okay, but
that'd be so
here's
cool.
Two problems with it, Sai.
What's
One,
up?
Poneglyphs existed, and we had more.
Hey, cave drawings existed before we had language.
But then we also know that like it was a lost. Okay, cave drawings. How do I combat that? We know that they were more than we are now.
But what if they were only advanced in terms of technology and not speech? Like it's like a it's like a binding vow in JJK. You give up one thing, you get another thing.
Yeah, so they gave up their
and since we see that the Gorosei can communicate telepathically, what if they just share their intentions to the other brain and they don't
speak something?
No. They share intentions. They don't actually talk.
Yeah, but we
like they come to a full understanding with each other. Like they're like imagine this. Imagine this, right? This is one person. This is another person. They just connect. I know that's like the universal thing for scissoring, but I mean, they connect. They connect.
I just wanted to make sure everybody saw that. Sai's depiction of intention sharing is scissoring. Like, okay,
there's no better way to do it with your fingers. Okay, like I mean, I guess I could have like chain linked it, but
I like how you looked at your camera. Like, how goofy does this?
Yeah, I was like, how does this look over here? Yeah, but
but like
it's a good visual representation. Maybe that's what Vegapunk's gonna do. Like, hey guys, like in the Void Century, we were all like this.
I think the Gorosei would benefit if they never spoke. Imagine that, just terrifying things they never told us. intentions shared. They knew what they were doing, and they were just silent the entire time.
You know, it'd be really cool if they, like if they were silent the entire time, and what they did was they wore like these black cloaks with red eyes, and they just walk around like little silhouettes.
Sure.
No, it's because I watched I watched Impractical Jokers, and there was one product they had where there was they made this robot that just it literally is like just a hooded figure with red eyes and just all blacked out, and then it's supposed to like watch your kid while they sleep.
That is
It's hilarious. Level. It's so good, man. I love Impractical Jokers. I saw one theory of somebody saying that since we don't see Dragon in the same panel with the other revs, that Dragon's on his way to Egghead Island. And I was like, man, that's I
didn't
wish,
see
dude.
that.
I wish.
I saw on, I think maybe it was Ragnar. He tweeted this. He said, "Oh no, I don't know if it's him. Maybe but like how next to Dragon, there's like the two panels, and it's like this the lion. So it's like, did Dragon turn into a Logan?
Did like, Dragon turn into wind?
Yeah, I was like, stop.
Another thing I thought that was funny with Dragon is that he remembers the line where Shaka says, "I think I'll be dead soon." And where this could go off in a good direction is that, you know, he says, "I think I'll be dead soon," and then we get more of the conversation, and then we maybe get to the part where Shaka's like, "Hey, I'm sending you the message ahead of time," or, you know, whatever, here's contingencies. That'd be cool. But I think it would be really funny if we just get a one panel extra, or if we get one panel extra, and Dragon, we get a callback to Dragon where he says, "Don't joke, Shaka," and then we actually learn that Dragon thought he was memeing on him. Because that's actually the next line, right? He says, "Hey, like, don't joke like that."
Yeah, he says, "Don't joke about something like that," or something.
Yeah,
I think that's what.
And it's like, dude, it'd be funny if Dragon was like, "You were for reals?" I'm like, "Shaka, you were telling the truth? What's going on?"
That'd
so
and that's
funny,
why.
man.
That's why, because like
Dragon's a great character. You know what? I've changed my mind. I love Dragon. Every chapter that goes by, Dragon becomes my favorite character. He's so good, man.
Like this like portrayal here, it like broke one of my. I was like, by the end of it, I was like, maybe this is happening where it's like you were saying, like I would love it if what Shaka and the Vegapunks were saying, like, let's broadcast it, and then Saint Jupiter is just like, well, I can't imagine it would be Labo phase, but then the funny part is that it's not on Labo phase, and you were saying, well, maybe it's the entire. I was thinking like maybe it's off the island, and possibly with Dragon, and I would like that because he has people in literally every single part of the world. They could broadcast it locally, and then it's like the chances of them stopping the broadcast period would be very difficult because it's locally. Right? And so if that's the case, that would be nice, but it doesn't seem like Dragon disseminated that information at all, because not even like Ivankov knows that this is happening. You would think that like at least the commanders would know, like Sabo and Ivankov would be, oh, okay, so we're telling all of our associates to get ready to broadcast the signal, and they're like, what does Vegapunk think he's doing now? And that's from Ivankov. They don't even know. Like, is there a world where Dragon called every associate across the world to do this? Sure, but not telling Ivankov and Sabo when they just sat down and had the conversation about what they're doing now? I don't know. It'd be weird, right? And then, you know, yeah, it's just interesting.
It's fun,
Why is
dude.
his noggin so slim? What is he even saying that to? He's saying that to Vegapunk, right? To Ivankov?
Yeah.
So that doesn't mean that Ivankov knows what
Yeah, Ivanka must have met Vegapunk at some point. Which, hey, maybe the broadcast is coming from Kamabaka Queendom. Maybe Vegapunk came here and set it up. I don't know. Yeah, that'd be a good timeline for Dragon and the Revs, in my opinion.
Yeah, you know what I actually realized too was
What's
that
up?
Well, this is a theory that came off of the watch party last night. I have a Dragon Vegapunk esque video coming out, and something I got from the video, the episode last night was that we always say that like, oh, maybe Dragon is, but I was thinking like, what if a young Clover? They made Clover look like a Giga Chad, and that would kind of make sense. Like if like Vegapunk was like honoring these characters, that would be insane, because then it's Clover who is telling Robin the will of O'Hara continues. But it was also Clover who is telling Dragon, who they have a relationship that we don't know of prior, which would be very interesting. And then also, yeah, just like the message to the world. Clover originally would have wanted to share this message to everyone, and it would be great if Shaka Clover clone was the one to do it. And I think that
it would also be really cool too that Shaka's now dead, because it would fall in line with the real Clover.
Yeah, no, and this is the kicker. This is the lock-in that I think people would love in the video, is that the shot in the head.
Oh yeah, that would be nice. Yeah.
Yeah, Clover shot in the front, Shaka shot in the back. Perfect.
By a quote celestial dragon.
Yep.
Or somebody working for the celestial dragons.
Yeah, in the same kind of like environment, right? How many times have we said Egghead and O'Hara? Right? He's literally the one who gave us. He's the one that told us all this stuff, right? So
it's all good.
As far as a Parvision references, this one, snail brained one.
No. I mean, this falls a little bit lower than the Chinese whispers and the snail theory.
I never even said
this one is just okay.
W. I'm not gonna even say, because I never said whispers and the other word. I'm saying that separately so that you can't say later on like, no, what are you talking about, Par? You did say it.
What are you talking about? So anyways, we go on. We go on a little bit more. So it looks like Luffy still cannot damage Saturn. So what he tries to do is that he flattens him and Kizaru, and he throws them away, throws them into the trash. It's pretty crazy. I mean, Luffy, he's that guy. He is super powerful. But let me tell you, Saturn, it's kind of impressive that even through all of this, he's still not taking any damage, which just leaves more credence to think that he is a gimmick fight through and through. Like, I mean, I feel like there's going to be some really goofy way to damage him. Maybe it's like inverse, where you just got to lightly tap him and then he'll take more damage. The more damage you do, the less damage he takes. I don't know.
Maybe it's like the finger punch that Kakashi did.
Oh, he has like one weak spot and it's his butt.
Yeah.
He's yet to shoot at webs, man.
That's what I'm saying.
He's lacking, bro. Dude, especially when he's like twirling back at Luffy. You would imagine that he'd be shooting. Yeah, webs, dude, webs.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Really? Yeah. And then imagine this. Imagine if his webs are so strong, it reaches all the way up to the lava phase and brings the island down.
That I didn't go that far, but I wish I did.
No, Saturn,
right. Like with the centripetal force and centrifugal, whatever, whichever one. Yeah, he pulls it down with the force, but no, instead he turns into your most hated thing, which is a Beyblade, and then he proceeds to Gatling Luffy and misses still.
Luffy's just too damn fast.
Like, and I just want to go back. Like, I don't know what happened here, but Luffy is huge because Saturn is huge, and his hand was on him, right? And then all of a sudden, his hand is his entire body size, and he slams him. I thought, like, not that I thought that they died, but I was like, that, like, black, like, in between Luffy's hand, I'm like, what is that? What sauce is coming out of his hands here? He splat them, but then they just turn into pancakes, and then he pizza throws them, and then you know, the progression of this.
Pizza throw is a really good way to put it, because I just said fingering. And I know that's not like the best way to put it, and people call me out on that, but pizza throw is a solid one, Par. You avoided the fingering.
Yeah, isn't that I feel like most people are thinking that he's making pizza out of them, right?
I mean, yeah, but
that's why he's Pizarro.
But to be mistaken with that people aren't saying like, you know, this is pizzaing. Like when you go to like a dough shop, it's called fingering.
Wait, is it really?
Yeah.
You finger the dough. You knead it, and then this process.
Well, not everybody has like a dirty mind, you know.
Wait, I never said it was a dirty. Wait, I never said that. I just said. I mean, I'm just saying that his name is Pizarro after the chapter.
I linked up to the Par Vision. I knew what you were thinking.
What do you mean? Sai is. Oh my God.
So Kizaru gets thrown down, dude, and that man does not get back up. He is reeling. From the damage, from the emotional damage, he's losing on all fronts.
I wanted to bring this up earlier. Brago, when he came on, we were talking about this, where it's like obviously we have talked about the nuance of Kizaru's actions on Egghead. Is he
Yeah.
conflicted? Is he one track minded corporate slave, like whatever? And like, I'll still fall back on like, Oda's like showing us him covering his eyes, he's closing his eyes. Like he doesn't do that when someone is confident. Like we've actually never really seen a character Kizaru standing act like the way he's doing unless they were like we saw the Gorosei at Ohara cover their eyes because they're like, oh man, we gotta blow. So we saw like Kuzan, he was like
Another
upset
genocide.
yeah, there's another one in the books, right? With Kizaru, I can't count how many times he's held his head like this. Like that's such
It's like once per chapter. It's a quota.
Yeah, and so like one way or the other, something weird is happening. And the one thing that I am kind of leaning on is like, we know without a shadow of a doubt, because we saw them together, is that they literally had a kid together. And that sounds crazy, but him and Vegapunk basically Sentomaru. They're basically two dads in Sentomaru, like they raised them. And that was a long time ago, and we don't know how they've been together. And if Shaka called Dragon and told him about the plans, let's say if he did that, or he's telling him that he's going to die, it'd be weirder to me that like Kizaru knows nothing of Vegapunk's plan. To the point that we saw Kizaru scolding Vegapunk for leaking the Kuma stuff accidentally. Yeah. And like that's a weird thing. Like nobody has ever like explained that one fully. Like yes, if Kizaru is on 100% Admiral, 100% world government, why would he even scold Vegapunk? If anything, he'd be like wanting him to mess up more so that it's better for them, so that it doesn't pull a thing over. It's almost like Kizaru and they had a ship of dreams together. They raised Sentomaru together. They had years.
They had a little family with Bonnie and Kuma. Like they were a whole crew in a way.
Yeah, and sure, like maybe he's resolved himself to killing Vegapunk, Bonnie, Kuma, all the stuff. Like maybe he's just like given up, right? But like I wonder if, like you've mentioned it before, maybe he knew that this message would come out if he killed Vegapunk. Maybe that's why he's like, do I do this? Do I tell the message? Do I tell Saturn that if I kill Vegapunk, the message goes out? Well, maybe I don't. Maybe if I operate a certain way on Egghead, this message doesn't have to go out, and we can avoid all of this. Vegapunk doesn't have to die. Saturn gets what he wants. This message doesn't have to go out. Or do I betray and do I tell Saturn the message? That kind of a thing. Kind of like if Saturn wasn't eavesdropping in the Kuma Kizaru Vegapunk conversation, would Kizaru just tell Saturn anyways, right? Yeah. But it's like it's because the Denden Mushi was there that Kizaru or Saturn knew about everything. But then does Saturn know, or does Kizaru know about all the things that Vegapunk did to Kuma that Saturn apparently was oblivious about, right? There's so many things between Kizaru and Vegapunk that I think that we're missing, not as like as far as interpretation, like literally from the manga, because we saw them so long ago that maybe he knew about this message, and that's why he's like it's
definitely too late for Kizaru to like save Vegapunk. That ship is sailed. That one is sailed.
Right.
But what if Kizaru protects Vegapunk's last broadcast? Or
like meaning he allows it to go through.
Yeah, he allows it to go through. Like he's primed to like take it down, but he just doesn't.
Yeah,
because it's like the last words of his friend that he killed.
When it comes to that stuff, right? Like it's interesting too, because you mentioned it earlier that Saturn kind of put the blame on Kizaru for essentially what's it called? He killed him. I think he did it, right? So when this message goes out and they say that like, oh, the switch is on Kizaru or on Vegapunk dying, they can blame Kizaru for putting the message out there. So it's like it is this weird.
Dude, imagine Kizaru gets reprimanded for what happens here, even though he did like a crazy good job, like when it came to killing Vegapunk. Be wild. Also, I think there could be a couple of cool things that could come out of this, whether it's Kizaru defending the message or, Kizaru shedding a tear for his friend. I think it'd be really wholesome if at the end of the message, Kizaru thanks all of his friends for being there with him, and he thanks Kizaru. I think that would be solid. That would be so good. He's like, thanks to my good friend Sentomaru, Bonnie, Kuma, and my great friend Kizaru. And then Kizaru was just sitting there like tears in his eyes, like, dude, what did I do? I'm a monster. It's so good. I love Kizaru's character in this arc, man.
That message could do a lot of damage, right? Because Vegapunk has so much power and influence, and in this very moment, it can out a lot of people too, right? Like, oh man, it's so, because he could out the Ohara incident, he could out Kizaru, he could out, like, hey, he could mention that Saul's still alive, and then Kuzan's like, wait, you know what I mean? He could say a lot.
Yeah, he could drop some heavy lore, bro.
Yeah, there's so many things that this message can say, do, and affect. The question ultimately becomes, does the message go out? You know, like,
what if we were talking about this earlier too, like how are islands gonna stand up because they don't exactly have power? What if Vegapunk gives people power? What if he tells them, like, hey, if you want a power, just think about it, like just imagine it, dream. And then like the Gorosei are like, no, we didn't want people to wake up and start dreaming. But you know, like something like that.
Yeah. Here's another interesting thing. It could be that the Gorosei succeed and stop the broadcast, but like let's combine our idea and that it is locally, every single place has their own local broadcast. So they shut down the Egghead one and they think succeeded, and like technically Luffy and them failed in their goal there. But like we said, like the message could still go out and then everybody else hears it and it could still do it. Maybe we don't hear, but also if that's the case, then that message isn't important for us anyways. You know what I mean? It would just be like, that would honestly be really interesting. Would have did it that way. We don't hear
it would be a nice plot twist because the Gorosei would be like, yeah, we did it, boys. And then they go to the next island and they're like, yo, you guys are scumbags.
Which, you know, if we want to go back to or go to the next part that comes in here after Kizaru is laying down, after the UFO Beyblade Saturn form where he gatlings Luffy and Luffy's haha, close one, buddy.
Yeah, we see all of the stars or planets are aligning. And I think that's such a hard editor comment, by the way.
Yeah.
The planets are aligning. Yo, what? That's crazy.
I had to give them their flowers for that one. If you guys know, I always am very critical of these editors. They're not Oda's editor. It's the Shonen Jump. But this week, that editor note at the end of the chapter, that shit did something to me. You know what I mean? I read that. I was like,
stars are aligning, bro. That's crazy.
That should be the title of the next chapter.
The solar system or something? Oh.
No, the planets are aligning.
Like, alignment.
That's a dope title. Yeah, are in alignment. The planets are.
I think in alignment sends that message, you know, just in alignment.
Yeah. Which is ironic because they're not in alignment. They're kind of like
they're kind of like scattered around. Yeah.
I don't know if they know what alignment means.
So Goroseis, they're coming in. Do you think the real bodies are coming in, or do you think it's just their forms? Do you think the real bodies are going to be at the Holy Land still? I don't know. Like for this one, I'm making a video later for it, but just talking about it in general because I have no idea. But I'm starting to believe more and more the theory that Saturn's real body's on the ship. And it's going to be the same for the other Gorosei members. They're all at Marijuana, but their demonic bodies are here. And I don't know. I'm leaning towards the side that this could just be like imagination powers. Like they're just all like daydreaming or something.
I'm with you on that part where it's like the powers, imagination, like. But let's say it's a world where Saturn's real body. Are you saying that the real Saturn, like we're fighting these shadow things, Luffy's clowning them, but then when we fight the real bodies, they're going to be competent and scary? Is that what you're kind of implying? No. Okay. See, some people I think it's going to be
the same thing, but you can just damage them.
So, and that's kind of like the weird part where it's like, then it's just Perona in Thriller Bar. It's like all Usopp had to do was find the real body and it was game over. Perona was this invincible thing Perona was more capable there. She was like exploding ghosts at Usopp, whereas Saturn can't even do that. You know what I mean? Like
he's trying, man. This old man is trying. He's flexing his arms out a little bit, flexing the legs. Eventually he'll land one hit. It has to be.
if you're saying that like Saturn's real body is somewhere else and he's not doing that, there's the nuance. People are saying, well, that's why they're having a poor showing here. It's because the real body. But then that to me is weird, because if he's getting pushed back, then why not just show up? Why not just have the real body show up? And if he's more powerful, like some people say, then why not just do that? So that to me doesn't make sense, because then it's like he's right there. He wouldn't need to do this all the time, which I just want to point out. It's like last in 1108, I was saying that is there a world where the God Knights coming through, and I was saying like we have summoning circles now, so maybe Saturn summons them. And I'm saying that because in no world, when I was that close to the Gorosei, it was a hard boundary. My brain was not thinking that all of the Gorosei would to the point that people in my stream were saying like maybe it's not the Gorosei, maybe it's the God Knights. Sounds like so he summoned 4 God Knights like randomly, like why? Like
he's talking to the 4 Gorosei in this panel.
Yeah, like he's talking to the 4 Gorosei, and then we don't see what's inside, but people are like looking at the magic circle saying that's like a little bit different. I'm like, we can't even tell that. We just see this outer circle and that part's the same. I think the coincidence, that's there. It's the Gorosei, and my issue is like okay, we summoned all 5 are here now. Are they as competent as Saturn? Because that's not saying much. If we're saying, I
think they're better. They got to be better, man.
No, but even if they're all astral projections, and then that would put them in the same like situation where like Luffy just can't damage them, but like what can they do to damage Luffy? You know what I mean? Like if Saturn's transformed 3 times now, like still not scary. So it's like give them 6 transformations. Summon them with the scary black circle. I was more scared of Saturn summoning than Saturn, if we're being honest. Do you remember how massive the summoning circle was? They were coming down and there was like smoke and flames and lightning. If they got hit by one of those, I think they'd take more damage than Saturn. At that point, they should just put the summoning on Luffy. And then you look how big these circles are compared to Luffy. Look, that's terrifying. And you're going to summon these bozos that aren't going to do anything. And I'm saying bozos knowing that I think that they're going to be strong. I know I used to be one of the people that were like, no, they're top of the verse, but I have to question it now. Like, I don't know. Like, is it a gimmick fight? Are their bodies not here? I'm open to anything, but like in none of the worlds am I still scared for Luffy. Like even in this scenario, the most problematic thing about it is like this was like rooftop Luffy walking up to Kaido and Big Mom. But we were scared. We were scared because we knew Kaido, what it looked like for Luffy to lose to Kaido. He's bandaged up. He was on. And then the fight went on, and that happened. He got thrown off the island. We know what that looks like, but we don't know what it looks like to beat Gear 5. Saturn hasn't given us... He hasn't even touched Luffy, first of all. The closest thing he did was that force thing that Luffy just kind of like smiled through. And then the other part of it is like, with Big Mom and Kaido, it's like we felt that Luffy could die. Like, that's what it felt like. And now let me ask you, like, are you scared of the 5 Gorosei? Or if we went to the rooftop and we had Kaido summoning 4 more Kaidos. 5 Kaidos is insane.
5 Kaidos would be kind of crazy. Or even just 4 Big Moms.
Yeah.
It'd be crazy like, too.
5 Kaidos, there's no winning. We never win. No one would ever win. Kaidos are distance, and like some of them were stronger than the Kaido that we got. That's what it's supposed to feel like, but it's not. It doesn't. It's not even close. Like we don't
it's a cool scene though. It's a cool scene. You got to give it that.
I'm with everybody on that, like, oh, sick. But at this point, right, we saw Kaido turn into dragon form, fly over, take Gatling Gear 4, slam to the ground, wake up, then just slap Luffy across the entire island, told his goons to wrap him up, take him to Udon, just for it to happen again. And like Luffy went through multiple arcs. And meanwhile, Saturn hasn't touched Luffy or anybody else besides the old man who still got 3 things over him. He got Kuma, the self-destruct, Bonnie, this message now, all of these things. Saturn's not smart, not strong, not... People are saying durable. He's not even durable. He hit a building, lost an arm and a horn. Bellamy.
Like 0 durability.
Yeah, Bellamy's more durable at that point. Like
all he can do is regenerate. It's so hard. Like at this point, Well, yes, I don't fear for Luffy. I also can't see Luffy winning against all
Yeah.
5 of them right here.
Yeah,
It's just a numbers thing. Like, it's a numbers thing. It's a time thing. And also, I know people every week, they keep on saying it. Why does Luffy have to run? Why does Luffy have to escape? It's like, well, Luffy in this chapter says, hey, my friend's got to escape, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's something that's been repeated a million times. But yeah, Luffy wants to get out of here. And I feel like even with the 5 Gorosei members here, I still think the chances of us leaving are pretty good. I mean, like, we have the ancient robot. We still have Dory and Bragi. Like, there's a lot of things working for us. And then plus Vegapunk's message. Like, they want to go up to the Labo phase to stop the broadcast. Like, Luffy doesn't even sound like he's a priority here. Like, they say Saturn, there's no time. We cannot allow Vegapunk to speak freely. They didn't say anything about Luffy. They're like, oh, we have to stop, Sun God Nika Luffy. No, that's not the case.
Right.
Like, yeah, sure. If they can, they will. Like, Luffy is a priority, but Vegapunk's message ranks at the top. So I think this could just be like, I don't know, 5 old guys rushing to the Cloud Island. Like, I'm not too sure how this is gonna go down anymore.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like, I could see Luffy beating a majority of them, or at least, exchanging a lot of blows, and it looks really good for Luffy, looks good for them, whatever. But I still think it's too soon to beat all of the Gorosei. When it was just Saturn and Kizaru, sure, yeah, Luffy can beat them, whatever. No big deal. It's possible. Like, even if Luffy doesn't know how to hurt Saturn right now, it's very possible Luffy can figure it out, and then we knock Saturn down or knock him far away until we get out of this island. But with all 5 of them, I can't imagine us beating them. Especially with I mean, I guess they're not like injured, but Sanji, he's been, doing some stuff. He's not like in 100%. Zoro's not 100%. Like, our heavy hitters aren't like at the peak right now. Luffy's already ran out of stamina once in this battle. Like, he could run out again. Like, it's very possible. Yeah, there's the food machine, but I don't know if they'll give him a break for that again. But I don't know. It's a rough one, and I like it though. I like not being able to confidently predict. And instead, I like having all of these open doors of like, this could happen, that could happen. Like, anything and everything is on the board.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
And that board is important because like in 1108, I now that we have this progression that Oda went with, that logic that land, it tells me that there's like a correct. And when you go back to that conversation, you said a lot of things about how it ends and what like it means and what's gonna, and that tells me like maybe we do need to think about, because like if you remember, one of the premises was dispersing the thing. So my point was, if the God Knights show up, like maybe Luffy still can beat all of them. If you summon enough of them come through, it's like now this isn't a fight that like is worth, like you have to cut your losses, kind of what Lucci was saying. We have to go to a point where cutting your loss is probably the correct analysis that Lucci gave us. And the 5 Gorosei all being here, regardless of my headcanon, them showing up is a risky thing for their portrayal, because Oda could diffuse like the fear that we have of them. But I don't think that's the route we're going. I think that they're going to demonstrate something that like at the end of the day, Saturn alone was able to hold down like Sanji, Frankie, and it's like, as far as hard hitters go, Sanji's one of them. So it's like, if we were to go for a 5v5, throw in the Giants and whatever into that versus the Gorosei, well, we have an instance where Saturn was able to hold down Sanji just with the Force. That would probably work on Zoro. That'd probably work on Jinbei. That would probably work on a lot of people. Maybe not Luffy. But then you have 5 of these. And so it's like, there's not really a good balancing act because it's unknown. It's very unknown. And the thing is, we know what Saturn's side is, but we don't know what the other people are. And they could have wildly different stuff. And so when we add in all these unknowns, I think Oda can easily make this like you said, they don't even care about Luffy at this point. They just want what they want, which is Punk Records, the Mother Flame, York, and this message to stop. Right now, the message is no point do they even care about Luffy, which is weird. Because like they wanted him dead in Onigashima, but right now, they, like you said, they haven't even mentioned. So that's like the one weird part. This line of logic is like, they could just run this to a stalemate. Hey, we could go full meme. It's like Luffy doesn't The strongest fighter on the opposition doesn't know how to damage them. So like at maximum, like Luffy beats them down, beats them up, but he can't keep them down because they just keep coming back. We don't know how to damage them. That's where like the giants could come in and give us some stuff, and they could weigh in on it. But like, I in no world in our previous discussion did I think or say that like, oh yeah, the giants are here to even up the Gorosei show, right? That just doesn't make sense.
At
like,
first, I was on board with it, bro. I said, yo, Dory Brongy versus Saturn, sure, why not, man?
Yeah.
But now it's like, oh, 5 of them? I don't know.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Like when I brought up the God Knights, I think we both kind of like that one where it's like the God Knights could be characters that go blow for blow and like equalize or even surmount them, and they're the God crazy. But now it's like the Gorosei, who we see almost in full flesh one of them, which would give us inklings to the other one. And it's like, we don't know anything about Saturn other than he's not like scary for Luffy. But then you add 5 of them, and this is where like I don't necessarily agree with the memes, but I'm sure you've seen the memes where it's like the Gorosei fuse. They do the battle tactics 15, and then they
that'd
combine,
be cool.
And they do something like that, and it's like, I'm not even mad at it. Like, give them a Hokoku song. World government upright.
It would be cool if instead of combining, what if all of the Gorosei have like their respective holy knights that protect them, and they all make their like summoning circle, like mini summoning circles for them. That'd be cool too.
That'd be cool.
Bring in everybody, bro. If the holy knights come here too, I think it's game.
Which holy knights I think is a strong.
That would be just overkill.
Yeah,
that'd be too much.
Like I was because then if the holy knights come, then drag. It's like always, and then like one ends the chapter because what are we doing with the Gorosei showing this? I think that's another thing. Like my first instinct when I saw this was like, One Piece is ending tomorrow. Like the 5 Gorosei in any other anime, it's like this is like the last season. You know, this is like Attack on Titan's final season, part 3, final part 6 edition. You know, limited edition like Gorosei. Yeah, so it's like that is an interesting development. But something I thought, and this is what I was alluding to, is like, do you think that the other Gorosei, Saturn is the one who summoned them? So it's like, do you think the other Gorosei can use summoning circles, or is this just?
You like that?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not gonna let him cook by himself.
You were vibrating a little bit. You're going.
Yeah, I was trying to make you think that I timed out.
Yeah, except you were moving. You can't get past the par vision.
I can't get past par. Wait, so right now though, like, Jesus. So do you think that Luffy and the gang can beat the Gorosei here or no? Like, so no? Because you said it would feel weird.
I think it's weird if the Luffy and them beats them. I feel like what I think is that the Gorosei are gonna use otherworldly powers to like prevent people from doing things, like holding them down, subjugating them. You know, it's not that Luffy can't beat them. It's just that like Luffy can't stop them 5 people from doing all those things. But that's also why I'm weirded out. This is like the meme thing. It's like Saturn unilaterally. Well, he said, "I'll make the summons." They say good. Like, did they have a plan? Like, did they have like they figured things out? And like, imagine it's like he said, "I'll make the summons." It almost sounds like they've practiced this. They've done this before. Like, this is like they run drills. Like in the event.
Maybe they did this during God Valley. Maybe Saturn's like, I need to perform the summoning here. That could have been another. That could have been another scenario.
But then if all of them showed up and Kuma still left and Garpa's still the hero and Whitebeard exists, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that would kind of bad.
Yeah. Like, it's still bad that Saturn and still happened, and a God Knight was there. Let's not forget, like a Prime Garling was there. So as far as we can tell, there was power. We're not.
Yeah. No, I agree. Now maybe they shouldn't bring them all there to God Valley.
Yeah, and like someone else said on Brago's chat saying like, oh, what if the gimmick is that you have to hit all of them all at once and that's how you kill them? And then Brago just busted out laughing and said, then that means the Gorosei are stupid for coming up.
No, I agree. That would be really bad.
Yeah. So as far as Luffy and them
Opening the door
beating
to their
them,
defeat.
I don't know. It seems like they came here, they said good. Like I was laughing because I was like, it's not even like Saturn can say like Saturn didn't even give them a vote of confidence. He didn't like no,
You
he's
know,
just
like,
like, I'm summoning everybody, summoning
yeah, he's
Jutsu,
not
and then
prideful. I like it. I kind of like that he's so willing to like summon his boys. Because imagine the
all
opposite.
five of them.
Imagine Saturn said, "No, I can handle this," and then he proceeds to get hit again.
Yeah, I mean that's
I
fair,
can
but
handle
like
this
all
situation.
four, right? Why not just two more? Do you need all four? I
I'd
don't know.
say so. Like, I mean, especially when they don't exactly know if it's the Labo phase or not. Like, it was just Jupiter saying it, so maybe like they get up there and they're like, "Oh no, quick, V now Sujuro, check the other islands." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it could be
And
something crazy.
and then that's the other thing. Can they summon themselves to other places? Because then they have a chance, right? They go to every island and then eye gleam every single Denden Mushi because they can do that, right? They stare at every. They could essentially, if they can summon themselves, they could literally go to kill everybody with their eyes
Oh,
if they
it would
have
be
the same
cool.
power as Saturn. But they
It would
might
be
not.
cool if one of them had like a race slaughtering devil fruit, where like if you hurt one thing of a certain race, like a snail, it hurts every snail in existence.
That I don't even think that's like in fiction. Like I don't know. You just invented a new like the world has never seen this before.
No,
No
I mean I feel like there
verse
has to be
in
some anime
Marvel,
that has this, right?
not even Marvel, not in the multi hundred thousands of planet or
They'd be
alternate
really good for like the
realities.
rabbit hunting tournaments. Like we have
Like
to
let me tell
exterminate
you,
the long arms, and then you get one long arm person, you hit him, and then every long arm person in the world like what
like
was that?
Thanos would sign you up immediately.
Thanos, I mean, he was a good guy.
Yeah,
He made
famously
some hard
so.
hitting points.
Yeah, famously hard hitting point.
famous logical conclusions is what I call it.
Yeah, hero of the galaxy, right? Not to be
Yeah,
confused with
not
the
to be confused with
villains.
anybody else, but you know, just I mean, if we want to talk about the Avengers, I think Thanos was avenging the planets.
Well, if we want to talk about the Avengers, then maybe the Marvel needs to take a note because this Avengers Assemble moment. I mean, listen, the magic circles in Endgame, I don't know if they did it like this, you know?
Yeah, they really didn't. They really didn't. I think these
Yeah,
circles are way cooler.
I think these circles are way cooler, but the only difference is in Endgame, they probably mattered a lot more. Whereas this one, it's like now we just have four more Saturns, and they're just gonna do more, and we're not gonna know for another like 150 chapters. Like it's gonna be like 4 years out. I'm like, oh, that's what they did on AK. I get it now.
Yeah, come next
Crazy.
chapter, we're just already at Elbaf and everything. That's it.
So do you think 11 chapter 1110? And you know why that chapter is really important,
You mean
right?
1111?
No, next chapter is 1110.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you know why that chapter is 1110 is really important, right?
Oh no.
Oh, because it's the chapter before 1111, so we have to set
Oh.
up Zoro, right?
Yeah. We gotta set up Zoro.
Yeah,
Maybe this is where Zoro beats the Samurai Gandhi guy and takes his sword.
he's three sword style. So why would you give him one chapter? It's three chapters, Sai. It's
There we go.
every story has a
Sorry.
beginning, middle, and end.
Apologize.
Come on, we gave Sanji an entire arc. It's called Whole Cake Island. We're not gonna give him. We didn't give him Wano. We're not gonna give him a chapter. Come on.
No.
Come on.
I was saving 1111 for Zoro.
Yeah, me too. And 1110 and 11.
Hey, we'll see what happens. I feel like at
Oda
this
does
point,
this. He instead of going on to 1112, he does 11A, 1111. Like he just for some reason.
and then we go to 1111 or 1114. We just skip
Yeah.
over.
Yeah. We just skip over the next ones. It's just Zoro P.
Funny enough, I thought that the Zoro thing would have been solved by now, but like with every passing week, the chances of it just ending on 1111 become higher and higher.
Yeah.
And Dax, I was talking to Dax, and he came up with a really cool idea
Ooh.
where he said that maybe on 1111, Zoro uses Ashura against Lucci, beats him, And then we get some tie into the Gorosei demon form from Zoro using Ashura.
Like Saint
That'd be kinda
Venus
cool.
starts shuddering. He's like, "Mother."
Yeah. Like, oh, it's our brothers upstairs. What's going on here?
Yeah. He's like, Venus senses
Just something
a disturbance
ridiculous.
in the force. No, I actually like that. I'd like the Ashura thing. That's actually a good idea. If Zoro's Ashura, debuted in what, and it was like a floating demon in the back. It was twice, one against Kaku, once in the, and it was just like you see like the ghastly thing behind Zoro, and everyone's like, "Is that a demon?" And like Zoro showing that could be kind of cool because then it's like, that would put him on the par of the Gorosei. I don't know what that means, but that could explain why Zoro part Gorosei.
We just part Gorosei. We learn a little bit about Zoro's powers. They're like, oh, like he can do that too, huh?
Yeah,
he can make a demon. What the hell?
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah. And then he reforms his eye that's missing.
Oh no! How about this? Zoro becomes a third eye tribe member.
Oh, so he doesn't have an eye here, but he has an eye here.
Yeah. He gets one up there. It'll throw off his balance a little bit.
You know, it'd be crazy if Zoro's scar opens up sideways and it looks like Saint Saturn's eye, like it's like a demonic
that'd be
cow
sick.
eye, and then that's why he's kept the eye closed because none of his friends would love it.
Ooh, what if Zoro opens his eye and instead it's an egg, and it's actually like the egg from Roger's ship?
Oh! I was gonna say
Huge.
the broadcast is actually coming from Zoro.
Yes!
Vegapunk figured he's the safest place on the island. The person who gets lost and the strongest straw hat, right? The
strongest straw hat. There we go.
Vegapunk said it at the very beginning of the arc. You don't want.
So don't underestimate this guy, dude.
Yeah. He never said anything like that about.
It makes you think.
Twitter.
It makes you think a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, it'd be funny if like that with like some part of this was true and like his eye, like Vegapunk's like, "Oh, Zoro, you're the strongest straw hat."
Yeah, we get like a 10-chapter flashback where it's just Vegapunk and Zoro talking, and in the beginning where Zoro's like, "Hey, Vegapunk, I have some demands of you," and it's just put something in my eye.
I need a bionic eye, please.
Yeah, please, Vegapunk.
Yeah. Can you clone me? I need a worthy opponent.
All right. Well, with that being said, Par, thank you so much for joining us today, as always. There's a break week next week. We might cook something up. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Down. Yeah. We got to do more 50-50.
Yes.
But yeah, break week means fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we that means we don't have to talk about Egghead Island.
Yeah, we could talk about your favorite character. Tank Lepato. Oh, we already.
Hey, I love Tank. I'm all about it. See, it's hard for me because I actually like these characters. You don't like Vasco Shot. You don't like Caribou, and it's like, why? Like, they're so cool.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you admit that I don't like these. Continue to.
You don't like them because they're so similar to you.
Imagine if Sanji, not Sanji. Imagine if the Straw Hat crew was a cast, like like the live action. They on screen they're the characters, but then behind the scenes they're their own person. Imagine like the world has that, like the manga ends and then Sanji cuts off and he's like, "Damn it, Oda, you gave me the gag again," and he's like upset behind the scenes about the thing. Like that's me with this Caribou thing. I'm like, it's fine. I don't really care that. And then like after it's like, "Damn it, Sai, why do you keep doing this to me? Why do you have to write this into the script?
Why am I Caribou again?"
Yeah, why not? Yeah, like sitting there like a kid who has to be the tree in the school play. No, I thought it would be the main character, Bush again. Like,
ooh, I already. You know what? Since you said that, I know the thumbnail for this video. It's done.
Okay, can you tell? Because by the time they watch this, they already saw the thumbnail. Tell me.
So I mean, well, I have an idea, and then it's gonna change. But I'm gonna have Vegapunk from the latest episode staring at you, and then it's gonna be you and Caribou. Or, you and Vasco. I think Vasco needs to make a comeback. And he's trying to, deduce which one is the real Par.
I thought, oh man, I thought it was gonna be Saturn summon because earlier on we were better celestial dragons, so Saturn summons us and the two summoning circles, and me and you were just like demon ugly looking monsters.
Oh, that wouldn't be bad either. Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
I'll do that. Yeah, maybe you've
yeah.
subverted me. Maybe you've changed like realities.
Yes, we stepped into what is it called, a Mandela effect? We,
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I steered Nelson Mandela this.
Maybe that's what's gonna happen. Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah,
have Saturn in the middle, and then me and you with like these weird arms just everywhere.
yeah. Just choose random demons. They don't even have to be Japanese. Put our faces on them. Just like
Yeah.
kind of like the what you said, like the Avatar live action, similar with their jump scare.
God, Avatar live action is hilarious, man.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, well, thank you again, Par. You guys know where to find him. Uh, and yeah, bye bye, bye bye, bye bye, bye bye.
Bye.